Let's do this debate stuff. Yes, I'll pay.
We're blowing up boats that we know have narcotics on them.
Nobody knows that because nobody's proven that.
That's
They're war crimes.
Doubt.
Like, I feel like if Jesus
Yeah.
Christ came back to life right now and showed up in society, like, conservatives would kill themselves if they had to listen to this guy talk. I think Kim Jong-un is just going to be the poster child for uncontrolled schizophrenia in like 2 or 3 years when people realize she's completely lost her fucking mind. I have the most unpopular take ever that everyone hates about me for this.
Really?
There is no client list. There is no black book. All of the Epstein shit
Really?
is bullshit. Well, didn't you consent
No,
to that
I'm-
being stolen because they stole because you had it in your
I'm
dorm?
not falling for your traps.
It's not a trap.
It
It's
is
a
a trap. You're
hypothetical.
literally trying to get me.
I'm not falling for your traps. Joke's on you. You stepped up to the microphone, bitch. You already fell into it.
Incredible. Can I shake your hand though? Come on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't kill me.
Don't kill me.
All right,
got
how's it going? What's your name?
Good. My name's Nate. It's a pleasure to meet you. This is my first time debating. Just want to let you know.
Okay,
I have
cool.
an opening argument I'd like to start with.
Yeah, go for it.
The Unfuck America tour is about identifying what
Is Destiny okay? He's living like a scared hermit? I don't think so, bro. He thinks he's going to get shot.
responsibilities we have as individuals to keep society functioning. So I want to ask about parental responsibility. We agree the fetus is a living human organism. We also agree parents have the legal obligation to sustain their child's life once it's born, even at great inconvenience. So my question is, why does that obligation only begin after birth if the same child exists before birth? What changes morally, not physically?
Well, the moral consideration that we give to a child. Like, we don't consider them a human until they have shown the capability to, what's the word I'm looking for? I've said it a million times. Fuck, dude, my brain doesn't work. What's the cognitive thing that we determine whether or not a person is a person? It's not... Yeah, fuck, I'll just let Destiny say it. Oh, consciousness. There we go. Jesus fucking Christ.
Abortion debate.
Yeah.
Are you religious?
Yes, sir, I'm Christian.
So I think that one of the difficult things in our society, it's a difficult thing, but it's the thing that makes it great, is we have the ability for a lot of different people to live with a lot of different rule sets, but we can kind of all come together and agree on a particular set of laws, which are like our codified rules that we have to follow, right? So you
Yeah, 23 to 25 weeks, exactly. Yeah.
don't have to legally go to church, and it's not illegal to lie to your sister, but like you can't murder people or steal things, generally speaking. So abortion is one of those issues that it like creeps at the very like outer perimeter of acceptable disagreements, I think, because from the religious perspective, you're literally killing an innocent child, and then from the I guess from the pro-choice perspective, you're basically the argument is you're forcing a woman to be an incubator for something that might be harmful to her for 9 months.
Can I rebuttal?
Yeah, sure. I was summarizing both sides. I'm giving my argument. Yeah, but go. If you,
Actually, no, you...
well, I was just gonna say I think the entire thing boils down to like when does a fetus gain personhood or moral consideration?
Yeah!
I feel like reasonable minds can disagree on that. I think it's very hard to make the argument, even intuitively, that like a single-celled zygote possesses all the same personhood status and moral worthiness as an ordinary, like fully grown human being or like a child or anything out of the womb. Like given like a petri dish with 10 children, would you save that or 2 like babies? Intuitively, most people would choose the babies. Yeah, so I feel like there's healthy room for disagreement there between like pro-choice and pro-life people, such that the right should probably be protected. Go ahead. What's your...
Yeah, so I would just argue that the human is constantly developing, even past inside the womb and outside the womb. So you can't morally or like even legally justify killing inside just as you wouldn't outside. So because they're still in constant development, like they haven't even hit puberty.
Yeah, but they're not considered people yet because we don't give them a moral consideration because they have no consciousness to speak of. They're not human yet. Humanity starts with consciousness.
Yet their brain hasn't fully developed, and I would argue, I know that you can't carry it like an incubator. I would argue that parents are legally required to sustain the life of their children, even when it requires sacrifice, pain, and loss of bodily autonomy, especially since consent to the act that creates a human being is consent to the responsibility for that human being and we already enforce that after birth. So why not before birth?
Well, I would argue the obligation you have to work and provide for a child is significantly different than having something tied to your body or inside your body. Even if there is an obligation that exists, I think it's fundamentally, I would say, it's a different type of obligation for the first part. And then on the second part, I guess when we say like humans are developing throughout their lives, that's kind of true. But like in a way, there's a lot of like metabolic development that happens after we die as well. But like, what is the cutoff point in your mind for when a human being like is no longer treated as a human being? Like, when does it transition from human being to corpse? What's that cutoff point for you?
Going back to what you said at the beginning of that statement, I would disagree, and I would say that the difference in degree of burden is not a difference in the kind of obligation that a parent has for their child.
I mean, I think fundamentally, I think it is, right? Like, for instance,
It's
we can
just
say
not.
that, well, like parents have an obligation to take care of their children, but the state would never compel a parent to donate a kidney to their child, right?
No, but that's completely different. The parents knew that they were, when you have sex, there's a chance that you're going to have a kid, and that.
Yeah, but when you have a kid, isn't there a chance they could have kidney failure?
That is irrelevant to the fact that when you do have.
Well, how's it irrelevant? It can happen, right?
I think we're getting a little bit off topic.
Well, no, I think
there's
well,
multiple strands you can go down, but I
well,
think
no,
the
wait,
main,
wait, hold on,
the
to be
main,
clear,
the
but
main
because
fact is
well,
that legally and morally, we have an obligation as parents, if we choose to have kids, to help sustain them before and after.
I agree, but my argument is that fundamentally that's a different type of obligation, and you seem to think that they're just like on the
It's
same.
not a different type of obligation.
Yeah, but then my retort to that is you would never like demand a parent sacrifice some part of their body for a child, even legally today. That would never be the obligation. But with pregnancy, it's
you
more.
can't use that as a difference because they're bringing a human life into the world, and they chose to do that. So you can't just use abortion as a get out of jail free card and not take that responsibility for something that they chose to happen.
Well, okay, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of really telling language there. But just going back to the thing, like if you have sex and you have protective measures, there's still the chance you can get pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing everything you can to prevent it, but you can still get pregnant. So, like, arguably, are you still consenting to that pregnancy happening? I mean, I think you would argue yes, there's still a chance. But then I just don't know why that wouldn't logically carry through to there's a chance your child could have kidney failure. Why shouldn't you have the obligation? Do you think a parent should have an obligation, a moral and legal obligation to donate a kidney to their child?
I think we're just going to agree to disagree.
Wait, well, no, what do you think the answer to that question is? If your child has kidney failure, should a parent be legally compelled to donate a kidney to their child?
It was a pleasure to speak with you, but I don't think you're going to be able to answer my question.
Why
so
why can't you answer the question?
Well, because you're going off track.
I'm not off track. With
It's okay.
Wait, to be
It's all
clear,
good.
wait, it's not okay. Hold on.
Yeah,
It's a comparison of like I understand your argument. You're
Yeah.
saying that there is an obligation to take care of a child once it's born. So
Mhm.
why can't that same obligation exist before they're born? And I'm arguing that the type of obligation that you're arguing for supersedes dramatically the post-birth obligation. And you're arguing
It
that
doesn't. It's
I know
consistent
you
all
keep
the way
saying
through.
that, but when
I
I'm trying
know.
to test it with a hypothetical, you refuse to entertain the hypothetical. Like there's no other post-birth obligation that you can give that requires you to sacrifice a part of your body for a child. Like you wouldn't be compelled to give even blood. I think giving blood would be way less burdensome than being pregnant. I
It's
haven't
just
been pregnant
you're
yet,
going down different routes. It's okay. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Okay, I appreciate the
and
conversation.
I'll let someone else have it.
Okay,
But thank you for the time.
thank you.
I just came in here not knowing anything about you. So,
What the fuck is that, dude? No wonder Charlie Kirk was flooring students. They're fucking stupid. These are colleges in America? Your high schoolers could school these dorks. America's cooked, dude. America's cooked. And this is the byproduct of the Charlie Kirk movement. Okay.
and I intentionally didn't look anything up because I wanted a clean slate, give you an opportunity to make your case for to me. But I do see some of the signs you have up. You say hate fascism, and then that Trump is a problem. So my question is, how do you define fascism? And then how is Trump a problem? How is Trump a fascist? I assume that's your take on
Oh
that.
my god.
Sure, I mean fascism is.
There's no way a grown man is going to ask someone, what is Trump doing that's fascistic? There's no way. Even other Republicans these days are like, yeah, Trump's kind of going a little off the rails, but we like it. Like, what? What? Okay,
Kind
sorry.
of a broad term. People use it differently. I think that like probably some of the characteristics are kind of like an authoritarian dictator. So somebody who is in favor of essentially like single party rule, somebody who wants to use the state to control like as many parts of society as possible. So that might be
Which is what he's doing and why he claims that the border's a mess and we have narcotics pouring into our country. So he can claim wartime status and then use his military force, such as ICE, to do whatever the fuck he wants. And then he'll just turn around and pardon them after they've committed a crime. Fucking crazy. Like, dude, they're pepper spraying pastors in the face. Throwing moms on the ground, dude. Fascism. Just because you have a police force to do it for you doesn't make it less fascistic. What? Okay.
Trump
Whatever.
telling Pam
Okay.
Bondi to persecute political opponents like
True.
he's done with Comey, Letitia
True.
James, with Bolton, who just got indicted. That might
True.
be Trump visiting Fox News or telling them to lie on his behalf like he did with the Dominion
True.
lawsuit. It might be Trump deploying the military to cities as just a show of force. So I would argue all of these things are pretty far down the spectrum of kind of dictator authority.
They pepper sprayed a 10-year-old? That's crazy, dude. And guess what? They're going to get pardoned.
Behavior.
And how do you say that? How would you say that the left, which has done that in the past, whether it's Biden,
Name a single time where the left has done any of these things. Please, I would pay you the last $200 on my bank account. I would let them turn my phone off, bro, if it meant you could answer that question honestly. Please, Destiny, ask him to clarify his statement. For the love of God. Sorry.
forcing a COVID mandate and locking everyone. Well,
Oh, there we go.
Okay, Biden didn't lock everyone down, but leftist state governors did.
That was Trump, dipshit.
And Obama and the Tea Party shutting them down, trying to shut them down, using.
You mean the Tea Party that shut down the government on 3 separate occasions under Obama over health care? The same thing that we just had a government shutdown over now, to where now a bunch of Americans, millions of Americans, lost health care and or their premiums are skyrocketing because of the Republicans. What did Obama do? I need to know.
Pretty far down the spectrum of kind of dictator authoritarian behavior.
And
Far telling the military Fox News or telling them to lie on his behalf like he did with the Dominion lawsuit. It might be Trump deploying the military to cities as just a show of force. So I would argue all of these things are pretty far down the spectrum of kind of dictator authoritarian behavior.
And how do you say that? How would you say that the left, which has done that in the past, whether it's Biden forcing a COVID mandate and locking everyone? Well, okay, Biden didn't lock everyone down, but leftist state governors did. And Obama and the.
You're a Republican. You believe in individual state rights. If a state wants to lock people down, you should be okay with that because that's what you vote for. Small government, state control.
Tea Party shutting them down, trying to shut them down, using the IRS to do so. How is that any different?
Well, one, most of those didn't happen.
That's not true.
So that, well, you caught yourself wisely. A lot of Republicans like to rewrite, I'm not saying you're Republican, but a lot of people like to rewrite 2020 as Biden somehow, but you caught yourself and you remembered Trump was president in 2020 when the lockdowns happened. The governors had the power and the ability and the authority to do that, and they exercised it.
What I meant was, beyond that, Biden did continue and enforced COVID mandates.
Yeah, but I mean, it
which
was
is an
when it was within his legal right to do so, he did it. And he did it for the protection of the country, right? Most other countries also followed suit in ordinary ways.
True.
It's very plainly obvious to see what the argument is in favor of locking down to prevent the spread of disease and everything. I think it's a lot different than sending the military to a city and claiming you solved all crime in 2 days.
I agree that there's some language there that could be a little bit better when it comes to
Well, to be clear, not language.
sending in 200 National Guard and saying you solved the crime crisis in DC.
No Democrat in my lifetime has ever, and even any Republican, nobody sent the National Guard or the military aggressively to states like this before, right? Nobody's done this but Trump.
I don't know if that's I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Nobody, you can't remember it,
but-
right? I can't remember it, right?
But
They haven't. Right?
But the fact is that there is a crime crisis, and a lot of Democrat governors aren't doing diddly squat, or mayors aren't doing diddly squat about it. You look at the Chicago mayor and basically saying we're
Okay, so at least now he's like, oh, yeah, and now he's just justifying it. So at least we're on the typical Republican talking point. Cool.
going to just stand against Trump every step of the way. And some of the governors, some of these mayors are actively promoting the flouting of.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm laughing at you.
Oh. What'd I do? Oh no. Did I say something stupid, chat?
Federal law enforcement, and in from my reading of the law, that is insurrection, and Trump isn't going after them on insurrection yet. He could, but
So he
when
absolutely couldn't, to be clear. There's not an obligation. So conservatives used to be big states' rights people, but you don't have an obligation to make all of your facilities available and cooperate maximally with federal authorities.
you do not have an obligation to cooperate, but you cannot openly flout. What
By openly flout, you mean the Chicago mayor said he wasn't going to make his resources available to federal police?
No, he's giving resources to prevent the enforcement by ICE of immigration law. What he is doing, and what Gavin Newsom has done, what Karen Bass has done, is promote an environment where where they are protecting illegal immigrants from prosecution, giving them an opportunity to avoid ICE, saying that ICE can't operate in public domain.
Because they're the governor of the fucking state. And the governor has the right to control the state. It's called state rights. Something Republicans used to fucking jerk off to in fucking slow motion. Every goddamn fucking day you heard about this stupid shit. What the fuck? You guys defended Greg Abbott, Governor Hot Wheels, the dumb fuck that he is, who should roll into traffic over his state fucking issue that was going on the border. You guys defended that because it was a state issue. And then you guys told Biden he had to back down. But when Trump does it, when your team does it, you don't give a fuck? You have zero fucking morals or consistency? Oh my God. Sorry.
That's not true. ICE is operated publicly. They have the authority and ability to go anywhere. They just don't have to have the full cooperation of the state government or a city government in doing so. Which, again, conservatives used to be big on states' rights, but I mean that's their right as mayors and governors to say. If crime is such a big issue, and if you think crime is such a big issue, I don't understand why there aren't more people upset that Trump is totally hijacking the conversation of actually having a real talk about crime, and it's like playing games with the National Guard everywhere and having us not have that conversation.
What do you mean?
We're not having real we're not having like big boy adult conversations about crime right now. We're pretending
or crime reform or police reform, or we're having any conversation about what we do with immigrants that are actual criminals. Like we could have conversations on how we can rectify our fucking asylum seeking process. Nope, we can't do any of that. We just got to send the National Guard to pretend we're doing stuff and then go on the news and say we fixed everything.
9 years old and we're sending the National Guard place, and he's saying he's fixed. You even admitted he didn't fix crime in D.C. in 2 weeks. He didn't fix crime in California or wherever else he wants to deploy, his National Guard to. Like,
to be fair, in regards to D.C., it goes beyond the National Guard being used there. But as far as reports have been, the crime has been significantly reduced in D.C., whether that's because of the perception of the National Guard being there, whether that's because to some extent the federal government has taken over or influenced the D.C. police force to enable them to take a closer look at high crime areas, whatever the case might be. Crime is down in D.C., and that is because of Trump's efforts, whether it's in the National Guard specifically that's been doing that, or it's other elements of that policy.
If Biden or Obama would have been deploying the National Guard to different states against their will, do you think that conservatives would have supported that?
It depends on what the point was, what the purpose was.
No. You guys would be up in arms. You guys' little pussies would be bleeding. You'd be screeching at the top of your lungs, saying that this is a gross overreach of government control, that we don't have kings in America, individual state rights, we're constitutionalists, the founders never planned for this. Jesus Christ.
The purpose is nothing, right? It's a show of force.
That's not entirely
The National
true.
Guard can't make arrests. The military can't make arrests. You mentioned that he might have done other things about policing in D.C. Well, then sure, that's a conversation about policing. And obviously Congress and the federal government has more authority in D.C. to do that. But why?
And how do we improve policing in areas? We do that by more funding. This is where BLM got so much wrong. Defund the police, the idea behind it was a wise thing, because maybe we shouldn't be sending police officers to mental health crises, but we do need to send police officers to events where people can get harmed and hurt. The way that we help the crime statistics in our country and help lower them is, one, give police more on-time training, more on-duty training, give them more time away from active service to where they can have moments to decompress outside of their regular 9 to 5. We need to give them more funding. We need to give them more help. We need to give them more people on staff. We need to have a civilian oversight committee that oversees everything that happens with the police, especially with internal affairs. All of these things can be done. All of these things can be brought to light. All of these things can be worked on. They just take simple conversations about the best ways to do these things. But instead of doing that, we're talking about Orange Man sending in the National Guard, fucking destroying sovereignty of states to do whatever the fuck he wants to do because he's not doing it to Republican states. We can't actually talk about issues that matter and work on solving these issues to make our country a better place overall because we're stuck on Orange Man bad because Orange Man is a fucking retard and we're stuck in this perpetual cycle every day. He does 10, 20 fucking stupid things and we're stuck here having to argue about it as if it should be taken seriously. And these people fucking elected him, dude. I swear to God, dude. Sorry. I know you don't like killing. I'm sorry.
Why not have that conversation in other states and cities? Why do this goofy military thing?
Simply because leftist mayors and governors just do not want to work with President Trump.
They don't have to. First of all, Trump is supposed to be the great deal maker.
Your cities, your states are drowning in murders, rapes, and
then that's the people's right to vote for those
other
people,
crime.
and the people can vote for their mayors and their governors.
And I hope they do. I hope that.
And they do, but that doesn't give Trump.
Prop 50,
but that doesn't give Trump. That doesn't give Trump the right to start using the military as law enforcement.
What he has used the National Guard for is to protect and aid federal ICE officials.
From the guys in the dinosaur costumes?
Dinosaur costumes? Oh, you're talking about the No Kings
I don't
protesters.
Do you think it's acceptable to use the military to do law enforcement, to enforce law in the United States against citizens?
At the moment, they're not, because that you're right about it being not.
But that's what he says, right? He
law.
says he's deploying the military for law enforcement. Do you think that's a good thing?
The messaging, it could be better. I'll agree with you.
My girlfriend hears me say unhinged shit all the time, okay? And she does, because I say unhinged shit, all right? How can you not say unhinged shit when these are the people that vote in my country? They don't know how to read. They don't know right from wrong. They don't even know what side of the political spectrum they're supposed to be defending. They don't understand what their actual conservative values are supposed to entail. They just do whatever the fuck they want on a whim whenever it seems to be convenient for them at that moment in time. There's no moral consistency through any of these people. None of them have thought through what they're talking about. They just see memes on the internet and then they let their buddies around them program their fucking stupid insect brain because all of them didn't even pay attention in school. They don't even know what fucking the three branches of our government do. Like, they don't even know. They've never even read the Constitution, but they'll call themselves constitutionalists. They'll call themselves Christians, but have never read the Bible. It's all a fucking LARP for these brain-dead troglodytes that think that they're important because they live in one of the most important countries on the planet, but they've done nothing to earn any of the fucking reverence that should come with that. They haven't put in the work. They haven't put in the thought of self. They don't sit up late at night thinking about how to be a better person within their society. They just bitch and complain and then victimize themselves while pointing the finger at everyone around them saying that they're the problem, dude. Holy fuck. I'm gonna blow a blood vessel. I think this is what you wanted, dude, because I haven't done a political video in like 2 weeks, and I've been getting antsy because I've been letting out the beast within. I love you.
That.
So he needs to message better to use the military for law enforcement.
Because what is inevitably happening is you got millions of people that actually think that Trump is trying to be a king.
Don't do that.
All he is doing is following the law.
He's not.
In putting the National Guard in.
He's not following the law if he's breaking the law. It is against the Constitution to send the National Guard to a state where the governor of that state says, I don't fucking want it. That's the end of conversation.
In places where he has every right to do so.
He doesn't. You absolutely don't.
Does.
You need the authority and consent from the governor to do it.
The courts have struck down any attempt to disable him from using the National Guard.
They have not struck down attempts to. They just
the circuit court in California that covers California did
They rejected TROs or preliminary injunctions, but the case is still going to be ruled on. It's just going to take time.
Fine.
But I'm just you think that it's okay to send the military to do law enforcement? The
Sure.
president of the United States. So if the
there
next
is a
president is
reason-
Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, and she says I'm going to send the military to Texas because I don't think they're enforcing their laws right, you think conservatives and you would support that?
If there was a crime crisis in Texas and Texas wasn't taking care
There is a crime crisis in Texas, you fucking bitch. What? They also have a massive homeless issue as well. Crime is rampant in Texas as well. It's across the board in every major city.
of it themselves like they should be, absolutely.
It's a lot of qualifiers.
Well, yeah, there is, but I mean, you have plenty of examples of Democrat governors and mayors not doing their job.
That's
why
not up to you. Who decides that? That's not up for the president to decide. These are elected officials.
True.
Why should the president get to decide if
The Reformation comes from the people, not some fucking asshole on the other side of the political aisle.
in the dinosaur costumes?
Dinosaur costumes? Oh, you're talking about the
like,
No Kings
I don't
protesters.
Do you think it's acceptable to use the military to do law enforcement, to enforce law in the United States against citizens?
This is why you can't take these people seriously. You just can't. Because, like, they thought that what Doge did was fine. Doge was a branch of, it was a pre-existing branch that was turned into Doge, and then Doge went around and started hacking things that they didn't have the authority to hack. All decisions with our spending and budget comes from Congress. It's up to them to pass laws and our spending and our budget. You can't just say, oh, I don't think that sending this money to Guatemala for fucking trans issues is an effective use of American money. You don't get to make that claim. It was voted in by people that were voted in for a job. If you want to remove that, you have to then go to Congress. You then have to put a bill forward, and then you have to remove the funding from that. You don't just come in and say, we froze the accounts, fuck you. That's not how it works. And these people don't care. They don't care about process. They don't care about law. They don't care about any of these things. They just care about whatever fucking little thing makes them look good and the moment when they're talking about whatever the fuck they're talking about, dude. It's total bullshit.
The moment they're not, because that you're right about it being not.
But that's what he
within
says,
the
right?
law.
He says he's deploying the military for law enforcement. Do you think that's a good thing?
The messaging, it could be better. I'll agree with that.
So he needs to message better to use the military for law enforcement.
Because what is inevitably happening is you got millions of people that actually think that Trump is trying to be a king when all he is doing is following the law.
He's not.
In putting the National Guard in places where he has every right to do so.
He doesn't. You absolutely don't.
Does.
You need the authority and consent from the governor to do it.
The courts have struck down any attempt to disable him from using the
They
National
have not
Guard.
struck down attempts to. They just
the
didn't-
circuit court in California that covers California did.
They rejected TROs or preliminary injunctions, but the case is still going to be ruled on. It's just going to take time.
Fine.
But I'm just
See, this guy brought up a point that he thought was good because he heard like a conservative person talk about that. But then Destiny's actually went and read the particular case. Why are you laughing at me?
Nikki.
Oh, yeah. So he was already prepared for that and then pointed out actually what the Supreme Court voted on.
you think that it's okay to send the military to do law enforcement? The president of the United States. If the next president is Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, and she says I'm going to send the military to Texas because I don't think they're enforcing their laws right, you think conservatives and you would support that?
If there was a crime crisis in Texas and Texas wasn't taking care of it themselves like they should be, absolutely.
It's a lot of qualifiers.
Well, yeah, there is, but you have plenty of examples of Democrat governors and mayors not doing their job.
That's
why
not up
they're
to you.
there.
Who decides that? That's not up for the president to decide. These are elected officials. Why should the president get to decide if they're doing their job or not? And if
Will was actually louder than Fox News on TV. That's just because Obama's not in office. I should be in a different room today. Anyway, if Obama was president, they would resort back to what they used to do. Look what this colored person did. Sorry.
if he thinks they're not, what you're describing is, by the way, is a king, right? This is like a one man making the decision. I don't like how you're doing your job. I'm going to send the military there to go do it for you.
Like I said,
How is that not a king?
He is acting within the
He's
existing.
literally not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And again, the courts will prove that point out as these cases continue to get.
There's already been stuff reversed related to like
down.
the immigration stuff. The Abrego Garcia guy was ultimately brought back. A lot of the El Salvador stuff has been.
He was ultimately brought back to face human trafficking charges. He was not brought back because.
He was brought back because they skipped the level of the process, which is not how we're supposed to do things in America.
He was brought back because Trump. To be clear, he was brought back
to face
he
human
was.
trafficking
He was brought back
charges.
because Trump broke the law.
No, he was
Yes.
brought back to face human trafficking.
Why would we send
charges.
him there if he was
He
gonna be
could have
brought
been
back to face
left.
charges?
He could have been left in El Salvador.
Why? No. Then why did he bring him back?
I am not sensitive to her laugh. She's lying to you.
To face human trafficking charges in
Then why did he
Tennessee.
deport him in the first place?
Because new allegations
no.
came. New allegations came to light, and I think it was a smart move to bring him back to face human trafficking charges because
But
that
they
is
just
a
deported him
serious
again, didn't
violation.
they?
That is a serious crime, and it goes to show what we're facing with the illegal.
Did you just hear what he said? Oh, it was a serious crime, so we have to bring him back, then do it, and then deport him again. It's like, or we could have done it right to begin with, and then no one broke the law. Because the Supreme Court said Donald Trump broke the law. Someone admitted to breaking the law. That's why he got fired.
Immigration crisis.
Are there? First of all, they
And
deported him
drugs.
again anyway, right? So what was the point? This guy's getting free flights all over the world at this
know,
point.
right? They should stick him somewhere and let things, if they're gonna,
Do you think that when Trump tells Pam Bondi to persecute political opponents,
did he really though?
he literally put it on Truth? Pam, you need to go after Letitia James. You need to go after
And you know how we know he didn't mean to? Because he thought he was sending a text? Because he deleted it later.
Comey. You need to go after Bolton.
I
He
don't
literally.
re-
Wait. Are you not aware that he's publicly stated that? That he put that on Truth Social?
I would say that that's fine. It's only going to be a problem with the courts though because does have that appearance that
Appearance. It is what
No,
it is.
it's
He's
the
literally calling for it.
It's the appearance. We all know they committed crimes. Well, Letitia
Then
James
why
with
is
the
it all they
mortgage-
have is the mortgage fraud stuff?
Yeah, which is funny because isn't that what she charged Trump on?
No, it's
for?
funny because the last mortgage fraud they went on, the governor, one of the Federal Reserve chairs, was all bullshit.
Don't do it. Destiny knows the facts of these very well.
They made it up, right? And then when more documents came out,
I'm not sure that's true.
It is true, right? There's a reason why they claim they're going after these guys for big crimes. They did the same thing with Hunter Biden. They didn't get him on any Burisma stuff or whatever. The confidential
That
informant
was
for that.
during the Biden administration. If you're going to talk to me about Trump,
Yeah, like all they got Hunter Biden on was lying on a gun form. That's it. His only crime was lying on a gun form. Like if you put a microscope to every person's life, every one of us commit crimes daily. Like you should just see the house. If I leave the toilet seat up, my God. I've actually only done that one time. I'm a good boy. The one time I didn't do it though, my God. She almost fell in. What?
Trump influencing justice, you have to talk about Biden influencing the Justice Department to not go.
That's crazy because like Biden let them continue the investigations into his son. He kept on the same department, the same person that Trump hired to continue the investigation into his son. He showed pure commitment to letting them find anything they could. And then when they found nothing and they were still trying to pursue him for a bogus fucking thing such as lying on a gun form, that's when he pardoned him. Because what the fuck?
Go after his own son, and
Biden
then
influenced the
then
Justice
say,
Department. There was literally
I'm not pardoning my son, and in the last minutes of his presidency, pardons his son.
Which
as
he's
well
been
as a
fully
mutton.
redeemed on, by the way, as Trump has done everything he can to put political charges against every political opponent he's had, number one. But number two, you're saying that Biden was controlling the DOJ when there was a special prosecutor appointed to investigate his
By Trump. Biden kept that guy in office when he took over because he didn't want to make it look like he was going to give special treatment to his son. He kept his political rivals' special counsel in to continue investigating his own fucking son. What other president in the history of America has had that level of fucking clairvoyance, bro? That level of like, fuck it, dude, let's just do this then. You know what I mean? His own son, his own family was being investigated in while he was the goddamn president of the United States, and he let it happen for 4 fucking years. Meanwhile, that same guy that Trump appointed refused to go after Trump for 2 years because he didn't want to make it look like it was a political hit job. This guy ran defense for Trump while working for Biden and almost completely destroyed our chance to be a fucking country because Trump is fucking everything up. This is crazy.
Documents, and when the Republican Congress was constantly investigating Hunter Biden, and when they got indictments against Hunter Biden for the gun thing and the tax thing, that was Biden directing the DOJ?
Yeah, right?
No, this is not a real argument.
He had nothing to fucking say. Oh my God, that was beautiful. These people are fucking jokes. They're just.
Was Biden directing the DOJ? No, this is not a real argument.
Lost for words for for the moment. Lost my train of thought. But actually, I'm going to let someone else speak. I've been up here long enough. I appreciate it. Decent conversation.
Hey, what's your name? How's it going?
Hi, I'm Alex. So
How's it going, Alex?
you might have heard that there's a governor's election race going on in Virginia right now.
I've heard that.
And recently there was a huge sort of scandal with the attorney general candidate,
Oh my God, because you said some mean things. Oh my God.
Jay Jones, who recently had his text messages leak in which he said he wanted to shoot I think it was the Republican Speaker of the House in Virginia.
To be fair, I want to shoot him too. Wanting to do something is not a crime. Anytime I see someone bust out like a fucking, I don't know, a MAGA hat, I want to backhand them across the face. Wanting to do something is not inherent of a crime. We don't prosecute people on thought crimes. Anytime I hear a Valley Girl talk, I want to slap myself across the face. Wanting to do something is not a crime. Saying you want to do something is not a crime. It's not a threat.
And
Like right now, listening to this guy talk, I want to blow my brains out. That would be preferable than listening to this guy have a conversation. But I'm going to listen to it anyway.
I think this sort of underscores a broader trend of just like rancor and political violence and division in our country. We see this especially in the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting, and I'm worried about.
Why don't we talk about those kids that got shot by Republicans like right after Charlie Kirk got killed? And I want a team on Ninja Supermodels.
The direction that this country has headed in with all this like violent rhetoric.
Like gag me with a spoon.
Also, by the way, your son Nathaniel on Twitter told me to say hi.
Okay, hi. Speaking of violent rhetoric, just kidding. Yeah, I mean, like, the stuff that leaked from his text messages was a little crazy, but I just listened to Republicans, insist for 3 weeks that they didn't care about all of the weird Nazi messages that have leaked from multiple, like, staffer and political group chats from their side. So I guess private messages don't matter. And Trump has said worse stuff publicly. So I think that probably, especially if you're running for office, that type of stuff, you shouldn't be talking about your political opponent's children or anything like that. But I can't be fucked to care with this administration and everything that they say openly. Yeah, you shouldn't do stuff like that, but I'm not gonna, wring somebody's hands over it right now.
All right, but wouldn't you think that sort of kind of eliminates the possibility of dialogue when you have someone like Jay Jones who's saying like, oh, I think it would be a great thing if this guy got shot in front of his.
I say stuff like that all the time. No, I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, if you want to get rid of gay rights, I would not care if you got caught a bullet, dude. I'm not gonna go home and be like, oh my God, dude, such a lovely soul was taken from the world. Like when Charlie Kirk died, I said that political violence is bad. We shouldn't live in a world where the people we disagree with die. But I didn't give a fuck that Charlie Kirk died. I didn't have a single thought in my head like, oh no, what about his kids? Like he lived his life. He made his choices. Sometimes bad things happen when you make choices. It's all part of life. If you're not a friend of mine or someone like, I don't care when Hollywood actors die or artists die. I don't care. They don't exist to me outside of this weird entity that exists in the world. Now, if they are a personal person in my life, a friend or someone I talk to, or, or someone that exists within my community, then I'll care, because then we lost a potential someone that's going to be around. But a stranger I have no idea anything about? What if this guy beats dogs? What if this guy is like into kid porn? Like, I don't care. He could be a terrible person. I'm not going to risk it and say, like, lose my sleep over. No, I'm an American, dude. I live in a town. The last time I lived in a town of like 60,000 people. And then before that, it was like 250 million. I didn't even see the same people in the same day. Like, and when I lived in Los Angeles, I never saw the same face twice unless they were in my own personal friend group. You go to a restaurant, the entire staff is different the next time you go. Like, there's so many people. I'm not going to lose sleep over the bad shit that happens to people I know nothing about. Or else I'd spend my entire day weeping because people die every 5 seconds. Like, what the fuck?
His family and his children died. Like,
when President Trump is saying that, like, Liz Cheney needs 11 rifles in front of her, like, here's the thing, and it's so funny, and it's like everybody knows this, and conservatives like pretend otherwise. Like, if Democrats came out today and were like, all of us need to calm down, Republicans would say, you're absolutely right, you guys need to calm the fuck down, because that's what's happened over and over again. People are acting like if Donald Trump came out and Donald Trump was like, listen, we think the whole country needs to
Dude, if it's a Tom McDonald fan, I do not give a fuck. That's another one. Like, I don't want to hurt Tom McDonald. I wouldn't go out of my way to hurt him. But if that fucker got hit by a bus, I'd probably celebrate. The world would be a better place for it. Now, the people he loved and cared about would care. And they should, because, even the most vile people, Hitler had friends, you know what I mean? Those people might miss him. But the rest of the world that don't have to hear another terrible Tom McDonald song, my God, the relief that would happen. Like, and then Dax could get it too. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude, the world would be a better place if these guys weren't making cringe music that made them seem like victims. Like, the world would just be infinitely better for 99% of the world, other than that small percentile of people that love him. Which, I mean, then you have to, like, question their intellect, and then maybe their opinion doesn't matter. But death should never be a good thing. But there are ripple effects after a person is no longer around. So, for example, let's just do this. Let's ground this out, okay? No matter where I live, I'm loud. I'm an obnoxious, loud, arrogant asshole, okay? Our neighbors, wherever I live, would probably have a better life the day that I die. I won't be as loud. I won't be as obnoxious. They might even miss that I'm gone because sometimes I might say something funny. But their life will probably be a better all improvement after my passing. That's not saying that it's good that I die. Just saying that their life would have a net positive when I died. What if it's Ben Shapiro? I mean, Ben Shapiro's career is pretty much over, so I don't know. His entire audience turned on him, so he's essentially already dead.
chill out. Does he think like every Democratic leader wouldn't be behind him in that message? Like Biden was able to do this very simply. Bush was able to, like every president, it's like a bare minimum moral standard is to be able to say we should all be less violent. And the Republicans can't bring themselves to stand on that principle. They always have to blame the other side, talk about civil war, say that their violence is righteous and the left's violence is unhinged. Like, no, I mean, like Trump should be able to come out and say this. Like I said,
the attitude is why there's apathy in the U.S. Hell yeah, dude. I'm pretty apathetic to a lot of things.
Text messages probably weren't okay, but I mean, like, these are private texts. Trump has said worse things in public, and I don't see Republicans doing anything right now to calm their rhetoric. So, I just don't care as much about it.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess I would just say, like, personally, I condemn all forms of political violence, and I don't necessarily align with either the Republican or the Democratic Party. One last thing, would you be willing to debate Nick Fuentes again?
It would depend on the topic and the place. Sure.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thanks
a lot, man.
All right,
Hi. What's your name?
Jordan.
Wait, do you go to school here?
Yeah, I do.
Is it gonna get warmer? It was so warm earlier.
No, it gets colder.
What
gets
the
colder.
fuck?
So last week it was like in the upper 50s, and then it was in the 60s like 2 weeks ago, and then we just skipped 50, and then we just got stuck in 40s.
It was so warm earlier.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Okay. What do you got for me?
All right, my question is, So we've been talking a lot about our local elections that are happening right now, but essentially my question is like, I don't really know, after winning those local elections and getting, I guess, the country more blue as is the goal for Unfuck America, right? What are the next steps like after that? We still have 3 more years of Trump, which is really hard to imagine because we've already like lost a lot of our like global position as the U.S. Internationally, with like respect from other countries and stuff. But like, what does the next like 3 years kind of looks like if we end up succeeding in getting more seats in like the House or like more seats in the Senate? Like, are we essentially?
Well, the goal is to try and stop as much as the Trump administration as possible, and hopefully the midterms can grant us that, so that we can effectively slow down any control that he has, and then after that, hopefully we can win the next election.
Essentially stalling for the next 3 years, or is there like anything that we can kind of do?
My boy said, I sense drama. Oh, there's no drama, buddy. Drama free.
I don't know, man. Don't ask me those questions. It's a hard one. The issues is one is just defending like the House as it exists, basically. My understanding is, like, I think your legislature wants the Republican goal is to make it so no redistricting can happen until like 2030 or whatever, to block any attempts to fight against the Republican redistricting that's going on around the country. Like, Republicans are on like a full court press, like fighting on every single level in any single way that they possibly can, besides doing their job, by the way, which they will never do, which is why Congress has totally abdicated its responsibility for governance right now, and Mike Johnson completely does not care at all about his job there. But I mean, I think that there are like 2 big things. One is obviously, resisting through any means necessary, the legal means, the creative legal means. So Democrats that are fighting to redistrict in their states, which I think is a noble endeavor. I guess there's like a hope maybe that if Trump gets old and continues to get old and is not healthy, that he can't run in the next election. If Trump was 10 years younger, he would absolutely run, and every Republican would defend it, even though they laugh and joke about it now.
Yeah, they would.
But I guess there's a hope that after midterms, some Republicans start to pivot away because they realize that once Trump is gone, they don't have that cult to rally behind anymore. Now the scary thing is, it seems like the direction they're moving is like Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, which is really fucking weird. But
I'm okay with it. If all the Republicans want to go straight up grapers and straight up white supremacists and Nazis, and then just completely drop all the pretense and no longer pretend to be rational thinking, caring humans, that would be perfect. Because then we don't have to sit here and play this game anymore where we have to debate things. We can just start arming up. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be brilliant if they keep pushing the Nick Fuenteses, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens as their thought leaders. Because then, like, at that point, there's no laws, rules, or facts anymore. It's just survival at that point. Because, like, these people are just straight up racist. Just straight up racist. And we don't have to try to defend against racism. We can just smite that shit.
But so yeah, I think that it's blocking through whatever means legal, extra legal, or legally creative possible. Yeah. And the second thing is, this is not popular and nobody's talking about this, and this is a whole other conversation. But I think there has to be some kind of like truth and reconciliation process after the next election, like the next.
And then let's hope this time, after we eradicate all these racist assholes, or take away all their power, we don't just pardon them and tell them it's okay and let them do it again in another couple years. Hopefully this time we actually punish the fuck out of these people. I mean, generational wealth, all of it gone. All the people that backed Trump, they seized their businesses. All of it, just completely scorched earth on any of these fucking assholes ever again. So that if they ever raise to power again, the only way they can do it is through argumentation. Or, we just don't pardon them and, treat them like we do for treason, which means a lot of people would be in the earth. But I've already shown I don't care.
Presidential election, we can't just walk away from whatever these 4 years are. It hasn't been 1 year yet, and pretend that this was okay or normal. Like everything about this administration has been such an insane joke, and it's. Even in the stuff that they try to do, like, it's woefully ineffective, like the Doge stuff, like we just like don't talk about that anymore. The Epstein stuff, like Trump is like, trying to argue that Biden's auto-penning people and he doesn't know what he's signing, and then meanwhile Trump is asked, like, why'd you just pardon the Binance guy or whatever? He's like, I don't know.
He had no idea who he was.
So like, something has to happen where there's like a big like come to Jesus moment, I guess is what you would say for the evangelicals. I don't know what that process would look like, but if it doesn't happen, then we're just going to be here again in the next 4 years when they have their next crazy guy to elect.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
I had to let my professor know I was missing class.
Oh,
That's why
Jesus.
yeah,
What
sorry,
class?
dude. It's my studio for landscape architecture. It's not super
Okay.
important. Okay, so can you ask me, do you remember that
Don't let
question?
him hear you say that, Jesus. My
I'm sorry,
God.
what?
No, okay. Don't let him hear you say that, Jesus.
Oh, no, it's important. I'm sorry.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
She said I could.
Okay.
So can you ask me that question one more time? Do you remember it?
Are you ChatGPTing this in the background?
No.
So basically, the question was, you
Yeah.
were saying that there is an obligation to take care of a child out of the womb, so
Yeah.
there should be an obligation to take care of a child in the womb, and I was arguing that the obligation that you're talking about in the womb, that's of a different kind than out of the womb, because we don't rely on like body parts to sustain a child, even if you might rely on like people working.
The last question that I didn't answer at the end.
I think that was it. Like, why do you think that these aren't the same?
Because it's worth it. It's human life. When two people decide to have sex, they are consenting to being parents and to taking care of a.
Are they? If a woman is on birth control and a man's using a condom and you still get pregnant, are you consenting to be a kid? You took every active measure not to have one. That seems kind of like ridiculous. That kind of seems like the same argument people make that like women that are sexually assaulted asked for it. What? Okay, what a stupid argument.
child's life, even if
Why did Christians lack any cognitive capabilities? I mean, what the fuck was that?
it means great physical harm to themselves or possibly even dying, like you said, like giving a kidney. I think it's worth it to bring someone else into this world.
But then would you legally obligate it?
Yes.
So so if your child has like a kidney failure at like 7 years old, as an adult, you would legally have to donate your kidney to your child.
I see where you're going with this.
Right.
I agree.
The next
No,
step.
I agree.
Okay.
In like a scenario like that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think most people would be on board with that. That's the position you could
That's
take.
okay,
Sure.
but that's just my opinion.
The second question I asked, or it was the first one before this, was like, when do you consider a person like dead?
When
What's going on, girl?
there is
Oh, by the way, and just a little heads up, I should probably do this after the video. I will not be here tomorrow as well. We have a follow-up appointment.
Not gonna do morning?
What time is your appointment tomorrow?
I'm working in the morning.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll be here a little bit then.
no more activity or any signs of life.
Well, there's still like signs of life, like stuff is happening, but like not every cell in your body is dead or the bacteria are still alive inside. Like, what is is there like a particular cutoff where like once this thing stops happening, I would consider this person dead? Like they can't come back from this point.
Well, what would you say?
Well, I would say your brain function, conscious activity.
Yes. Yeah, that's the whole point. So when we deem someone dead, it's usually when they are brain dead, when they no longer have the means to use consciousness anymore. That's usually when we pull the plug, when they're just hooked up to a machine and they're just a body breathing, but there's nothing inside because the consciousness has ceased to exist. They're brain dead. When that happens, even in America, I think that we're allowed to pull the plug now, like, because that's when they determine you to be dead. So if that is the end point of your life, that should also be the start point of your life. Pro-abortion people will make the argument that from the moment of conception, you are unique. You're a unique biological marker, which is true. Science does say that you become a unique biological marker, but that doesn't say that they are worthy of human consideration yet. And this is where the pro-life people lose me, because then they say, so because a unique thing is created, we then have to treat it as a unique human. But it isn't showing consciousness yet. So like, I don't think it's worth moral consideration. There was a guy, his name is Trent Horn. He had a debate with Destiny. And in order to push Destiny on this particular view, he tried to use some really extreme language or rhetoric to make Destiny look unhinged. And this is why I respect Destiny, because he stands by his argument, even if it's not like the most optically best thing to do. So essentially what Trent Horn, who is a Catholic guy who's super pro-life, who is actually a pretty good interlocutor when he's not being a little weasel bitch. Anyway, he asked Destiny that if they were able to pull out one of these babies at 19 weeks before consciousness is formed, and they were able to grow the child to fruition, but not, it still wouldn't have consciousness, would it be okay to rape that baby? And Destiny was like, yeah, it's not a human, so I don't give a fuck what you do to it. And Trent Horn was like, oh shit, because most people don't bite bullets because biting bullets can make you look bad. But like, if you're going to defend your argument in any tangible way, you have to take on the negative side of your argument as well, which is why I always respect people like Destiny who's willing to bite that bullet. Because if you don't have moral consideration for it as a human, whatever happens to it before it as a human is kind of irrelevant at that point. But yeah.
But if I'm ending life there, I would also begin life there.
True!
So I feel like that's my, when I look at abortion, I usually say, like, I think it's around 20 to 24 weeks is like
True.
the brain activity for conscious experience emerges.
But you agree that life begins at conception.
I mean, there's a life, sure.
Yes, and that life is valuable.
No, I wouldn't say. Not until
Why
there's
is
a-
it not valuable?
Because it's not human yet. It doesn't have consciousness. So what makes us human is our consciousness, our level of consciousness. And then some people are like, well, animals have consciousness. Yeah, but it's to a different degree. Animals don't typically self-reflect, and they usually just have a drive to survive.
because there's no conscious experience.
Well, it's going to be a person.
Yeah, and a
What happened?
I disagree. Stop listening to me. I should be elsewhere.
blueprint is going to be a building, but it's not.
That you can't. That doesn't work.
It
'cause
does.
Human life is special. It has a soul. It's different.
Well,
Than
I mean,
like
I don't
a
believe in
building. A building
souls,
doesn't have a
so-
soul. So there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect we have. So it's like it'll probably be impossible for us to agree.
I
But-
agree with that. So, but the very opening premise I said was because of the way that our
Self-reflect. Animals have consciousness. Yes, they have consciousness, but it's to a different degree of the consciousness of
That
humans.
cat is a jerk.
Cats are jerks, yeah. They are, animals are nothing but id. They don't have the ego and the superego.
Dogs love you and looking forward to your return. I'm done with this conversation. I can't have this conversation.
Animals do love you, but that's because you feed them.
Oh my god, no. No.
our society is structured, and then we have a liberal society, that there are necessarily things that we're going to agree and disagree on, and then we have to find like the core issues and codify them in law. And because the abortion thing runs up into this like very fundamental questions about like souls and human life at conception, I feel like there has to be space here for disagreement.
Rude!
But you would disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So do we disagree to disagree?
I guess.
Okay.
Would you say that I feel like there are a lot of hard bullets you have to bite if you're going to take this stance, though.
Run them off. Run them off.
Well, so like, I've heard totally.
You're an I don't give a fuck how it's spelled. I mean, ID gaff was on the back of my car for many years.
Different numbers, anywhere from 10 to 50% of like pregnancies end in spontaneous abortion, miscarriage, or whatever. That like a lot of women will have maybe like a very heavy period, you know, because you were pregnant, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're miscarrying. Would you mandate some type of monitoring system for people that are actively engaged in sex to make sure that somebody's not having like a miscarriage like that?
If you don't like, say like the
And plus, animals have no concept of love. I mean, probably dogs would have the best concept of love. But like, if you die in your house, your animal's gonna eat your face. I'm not gonna do that to Kia if we die. I'm not gonna eat her face because I love her. Like, no, they don't have love in the same way that humans do. Now, I think some dogs don't do it until like the 4th day, but the first day, a cat is munching your ass, dude. Cats don't know what love is. Cats are, for me, the definition of evil. They are Lucifer, dude. Cats are that. They're the sweetest looking, most angelic looking creatures around, but they are the most selfish, like they are the personification of the id, of the hunger. Oh my God, dude, when I was a tiny kid, I saw pictures of a woman who had been eaten by her dogs. Yeah, bro. We talked about jerky cat this morning. Love, spite, longing. They have emotions. Give it a few days and that face will look very scrumptious, I'm sure. Exactly, dude. Nah, dude, I'm not eating Kia, bro. What the fuck? Because I love my girlfriend, dude. Now, she'll probably eat me because she's all about survival, bro. If I die in this house, she's going to cut me up in little pieces and put me around the house in case she gets stuck in like the basement. She'll have a big old arm to feed on, dude, because she's already got like a bucket of milk or water down there, dried milk, dude. She's got like leaves that have like protein in it and shit. You know, like she'll cut me up, dude. I already know.
Since I wouldn't subject them to that because they didn't know.
Also, then she doesn't have to report the fact that, you know, she had an American on the house, dude. Actually, she might get a tax credit. You would need dehydrating first? Yeah, dude. And also, I have a lot of sugar in my body, dude. She's going to eat William jerky.
No, I'm going based off the non-aggression principle. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Oh, my God. The guy's a libertarian. The nap! You choose which cheek. I would eat the booty. I would probably eat her booty. I would do that. She would have to be buried buttless. And what? I won't eat your face, but I will eat some butt cheeks. I'm saying goodbye to it. I'll never see it again. Plus, we already know I'm dying first. Have you seen how fat I am? Yo, Kia did say I was losing a little weight, though. She was looking at she said she can see a crease in my back fat now. What was it, neck fat? Yeah, she said, apocalypse only.
I wouldn't subject them to that because they didn't know. I'm going based off the non-aggression principle. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah, but that fails horribly because you have a baby inside of you that's leaching resources from your body.
It's not because you agree to morally take care of it.
Oh my
Why do you
God.
agree
When
to
you
that?
consent to sex, you also consent to possibly being pregnant.
I love how he keeps coming back to that.
Why?
Because that's how you create life. That's why you have sex. If you have sex, you consent to also being pregnant.
It's going to be hard to hear her speak with your tongues in her cheeks. Well, she's not going to be alive to speak. I'm saying if we got trapped in a cave somewhere, the only thing I'd eat on her is her booty. I got to say goodbye to it, you know? Put them on a shizzle, Canadian bacon, eh?
If you park your car in a
That's
bad
not
neighborhood,
the same.
why
Car doesn't
not?
have a soul.
Well, if you park a car in a bad neighborhood, don't you consent to some possibility of a break-in?
You can't use that argument because that's different. This is human life we're talking about, not a car.
Yeah, but you're talking about consent, and a person can do everything they can to block that from happening. But even if
It's just not an argument you can use for it.
It's literally an argument you can use for it.
why not?
Because it's not comparable to a human
How is it not comparable? It's consent. The idea of consent is what we're talking about. The human life is irrelevant to the equation. We're talking about consent, you fucking...
life.
Well, I'm comparing it.
I mean, that's your take. I mean,
They're different, obviously, but comparisons are for different things, not the same thing. If it was the same thing, I would just be comparing the same thing to the same thing.
I just can't agree with that.
I think if you're taking, I think it's weird to use that because you're making it sound like a force of nature almost, or like a rock rolling down a hill. That like you're saying
Well,
the word
you
consent.
agree that we're just animals, right? We have no souls. So, I mean, if you want to, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that word consent is being used very strangely there to say that you're consenting to a
Sex
pregnancy.
and pregnancy.
You can see that cop over there in the back, like right here in the background over here, watching for them motherfuckers, bro. Destiny has to come to Canada, and then I want to see Steve out there on the field having to defend Destiny. That would make my day. That would make my... Because Steve hates Destiny, so that would be hilarious. Matter of fact, the person to shoot Steve... Or, wait. That would be Steve on Steve violence. Oh my God! Sorry.
By having sex, even if you're using contraception.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an unpopular take.
Well, but I don't think it's unpopular. I think it's nonsense. I don't think the word
That's your take.
consent.
That it counts for if you have to agree that if you have sex, there's a chance of having a kid.
Are we going to start like doing written agreements? Like next time a woman wants to get some dick in her, she's going to have to pull out like a form that you sign saying, hey, by putting your dick in me, that there's a possibility that we're going to have a kid. And so that means that you were consenting to be a father and that you were going to consent to be my husband. Like, are we going to start doing that? Like, what world are we living in? Like, if I take every active measure to not have a kid and then I fuck somebody and because my sperm is extra strong because I got that gene in me, now I'm forced to have a kid? Despite the fact that I took every active measure, I put a girl on the pill, I went and bought a condom, I pulled out, I did everything I could. I can't help it, my boys. And now I'm just stuck. I have to be a father now. I know that if I have a kid, my kid is going to be born with severe mental disabilities because my entire I am the most successful person of my biological family. Brother, I do not want to put that evil in the world. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. So I would abort that fucker if my girlfriend was okay with that. Though knowing my girlfriend, she'd be like, no, we're having that. She cares about everybody. We'll see how much she really cares if she's got a an American in her. What? I don't like wearing condoms. It strangles my peen. I'll pull out early, I promise. Yeah, dude, how many guys say that? I don't go nowhere without rolling notaries, dude.
Can you not?
Sure, but like I don't understand how that doesn't carry over into any other facet of life where
Because we are the only beings on this planet that have souls.
No, but I'm saying like if I'm taking preventative measures for bad things happening to me in other circumstances, am I still consenting to those bad things happen if they happen to get through the preventative measures?
It's just not comparable to human life.
It is.
Why not?
Because I'm a
Well, just
broken
okay.
clock here.
Pretend we're just having a conversation, okay?
Yeah.
I locked my door, okay, and then somebody breaks in and steals my stuff. Would you ever say to a person, well, in a way, I mean, like you have a house there, you know there are thieves that like exist in society. You're kind of consenting to somebody breaking in and stealing your stuff by having your stuff in your house.
It's not. You can't compare that.
No, I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying. Just say your friends. You say that. You complain to me. Somebody broke into your dorm and they stole your Xbox 7.
Fuck, dude, I've actually said that before. I've used the argument that Destiny is saying. I've been like, bro, you're the one who bought that shit. You bought stuff people want, bro. Be like me. Be trash. Own nothing that anyone likes. Buy ugly clothes. Buy pink girly lighters. Like, make it to where none of your homies want any of your shit. And then you don't have to worry about them stealing anything. Like, I always buy the ugliest shit, dude. I love gaudy, gold, nasty crap. Because then no one wants anything I own. Kia's lucky, dude. She owns a lot of old stuff that no one wants. Like, I walked in, she's got teapots on the roof and shit. She doesn't actually have teapots on the roof. But we do have plates all alongside one wall in here. In the bedroom. Aren't those plates? Or are those paintings? I can't remember, dude. I can't remember, dude. And I'm not going to get up to check.
Or whatever you guys are up to, okay? And then I say, well, you had an Xbox in your dorm.
We have like a bunch of chairs in the house that I will never be near. One of them is older than my grandparents, probably.
Yes, older than my grandparents.
Yeah, dude. You know how scary it is walking around this house where like 90% of the stuff in it are super fragile? I'm scared I'm going to break everything. I'm scared I'm going to break the floor, dude. But that's just because in Canada, people aren't usually this big. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm not... Look, full send. I look like an alien in this country. I'm the fattest person I've seen in Canada. You know how scary it is to be the fattest person in the country? Like, what the... I am an amusement park to people. We were walking around, I think it was called Canadian Tire. The way this man looked at me, he looked like a bear had broken into the building and was walking around in human clothes. The guy was looking so lost, and I go up to Kia and I'm like, I think they can tell I'm American. And she's like, well, I mean, you know. And if you were Canadian, you wouldn't be so fat. We would have... They would have given you medicine for this. Bull in a Canadian house? Exactly, dude. What's up, Stuart? Bro, I don't collect material possessions. It's memories. People can have my shit, but touch my memories and bear them. See? I'm so scared that I'm going to break something that matters to her, and then, like, she's going to go ballistic on me, bro. I know she's in there. I know there's a little demon in there waiting to just scratch out my American eyes.
You're kind of consenting.
What's up, Tessa Lawana? What? Did I say that one wrong too? Oh, God, fuck all of y'all, bro. Why do y'all always have weird names? Do bears have the right to bear arms? Yeah, dude. Exactly, dude. We're gonna listen to the song you guys shot here in a minute. Well, I don't know how much of this debate I'm gonna get through before I want to kill myself.
being stolen by having it.
No,
Why would you say no to that?
because when you consent to having sex,
Well, we're not
you
talking about sex.
also
I'm talking about the
consent
Xbox.
to having pregnancy.
But I'm just talking about the Xbox.
That's-
When you consent to
it's
having
not
something in your dorm.
comparable.
I'm not comparing it. I'm just talking to you about your Xbox 7, okay?
We're-
Somebody
we're
breaks
not
into your
gonna go
dorm,
anywhere
they
with
steal
this.
your...
How much snow did we get? What was it, a couple inches?
Ours melted yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, well, we still had a couple inches of snow for a while. And Kia fell.
Oh my god.
So we went for a walk the first night we had snow, or the second night. And I almost fell. And she was like, hon, you need to learn how to walk on snow. And I'm like, you're right, I'm sorry. And then the next day, she goes and hangs out with her friends. And then she comes home with a big old fat bruise on her ankle and her arm. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I fell in snow. And I was like, what the fuck? You've been living here your whole life. Whole life. You were just talking shit yesterday, and you biffed it. Oh, sorry, cute. I need to go out today, and I'm afraid to fall it. I found the only puddle in a parking lot. Just say it. It was adorable. So now I'm telling her she can't leave the house anymore because I can't trust her to walk on ice. So like now I have to go do everything, but you know, you're supposed to kiss the boo-boo, Will. Damn it! I kissed the fuck out of it. I gave her cuddles all night.
Xbox.
It's okay. We just disagree.
No, I just want to engage with this. We're not talking about. We're done. Okay, we're done with the abortion conversation.
Right.
Okay. Somebody broke into your dorm. You complained to me. They stole my Xbox, and I'm telling you, you consented to having it stolen by having it in your dorm. Somebody could peaceably break in and steal it.
That's a different comparison.
I'm not comparing it.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm just
you're
asking
trying
you
to
about
get me to
that.
say-
He's asking you a simple question, you dipshit. Walking in a winter wonder. Ah! True.
Answer that so that it
I'm just curious what your
completely
answer would be. What would you
changes
say?
my, stance
No, I'm
on
not. I'm
abortion.
not.
We're watching Destiny going to a college campus and debating both far leftists and Republicans. Though a far leftist hasn't come up yet.
Not even comparing
Yes,
anymore.
you are.
I
Yes,
concede
you
the
are.
whole abortion debate. Okay, I'm pro-life now. Okay, you won that.
Let's go.
So now I'm just on the
Awesome.
now I'm just on the Xbox 7 thing. So somebody breaks in, they steal your Xbox, and you're complaining to me. I'm like, well, didn't you consent
No,
to that
I'm-
being stolen because they stole your because you had it in your
I'm not
dorm?
falling for your traps.
It's not a trap.
It is
It's
a trap. You're
hypothetical.
literally trying to get me.
I'm not. I'm
Yes,
I'm
you
saying
are.
that you're giving a very strange notion to the word consent. Your intuition.
strange at all.
No, it's strange because your intuition pumping. Because when you consent to something, the understanding of that word intuitively, normatively, is that you're saying that, well, I accept this thing happening. But you're using consent in a very strange way because if you use contraception, you're literally saying, I don't consent. I don't
No,
want this to happen.
you
And you're saying,
do
well,
consent,
something's get
even if
through.
you do use
Something's
contraception.
no, but
Yes.
that's not consent.
Because
That's accepting
you know
the
that there's a
possibility
chance
of.
that you might get pregnant even if you use contraception.
Accepting, and you know there's a chance
No.
somebody will break into your house even if you lock the door. That's
True. Sorry for yelling. Damn, you're in a lot of discords, bro. I'm only in 3. Mine, and porn. Oh, and Wave of Change.
That doesn't mean you consent
You
to being
can't compare
burglared
it
from.
because human
What?
life has
It's
inherently
not about
way
human
more
life.
value.
You're abusing the word consent.
No,
you,
I'm
you,
not.
You're
I
saying
am not abusing it
you
at all.
are.
No,
You're
I'm not.
just
you're,
because
you're undermining it.
no,
actually.
I'm.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
undermining it. What are you talking about?
Sorry.
I just can't believe that you believe life begins at conception, but you're still okay with killing people.
I didn't
It's
say
incredible.
personhood. The thing that we care about
Mm.
begins at your conscious experience, because that's when you die.
That's incredible. Can I shake your hand though?
This guy is fucking weird. Does he not understand the pro-life argument? Or the pro-choice argument?
Come on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't kill me. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oh yeah, that would look real bad at the end of an abortion argument. So thanks. I appreciate the conversation. Any other conservative type people? It better not fucking be Israel-Palestine. Okay, they ceased-fired. You guys, you college kids can't complain about that one anymore. You got to find a new issue to march about. Unbelievable.
Wonderful. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Charles. I'm a sophomore here. I wouldn't really say I identify with the Republican Party.
Isn't it crazy how all the people that defend the Republican Party and Trump always have to start by saying they don't identify with the Republican Party? Do you know many people that are pure MAGA that will come out and be like, I don't give a fuck about the Republican Party. Fox News lies. Newsmax lies. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, man. But like, but Daddy Trump said y'all are immigrants and y'all stealing my land. It's like, oh, so you don't even watch the conservative news because it's too moderate for you. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck, dude?
But I
Everyone says this right before they give the most full through.
Yes, even Destiny calls it out. Yes, please. Oh, I love it so much.
Hi.
I'm Charles. I'm a sophomore here. I wouldn't really say I identify with the Republican Party, but I
Everyone says this right before they give the most full-throated defense of Trump I've ever heard in my life.
no,
I'm fucking.
no.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Thank
You
you.
wouldn't say you're a Republican. I understand. Go ahead.
I know a little bit about you, but I don't know all of your takes on everything. I wanted to start off by saying that I think the Republican Party has a problem focusing on issues that are very unpopular for them. I think a very good example of that is abortion. I think that it's a very pro-life stance is getting more and more unpopular in this country every day. I think that focusing on that issue is losing them voters. I would argue that there are unpopular...
Tesla Lawana! Enjoy your time away. We will miss you. We love you. And I will have the video uploaded soon. I will bypass the typical 2-day fucking upload time, and I'll make sure it's uploaded today. Also, watch for ice, dude. Don't pull a Kia.
issues for the Democratic Party as well that have been focused on that have...
Also, I just want to point out, my girlfriend is like really good at falling. It's very strange. For being part of the MAGA crown and then proceed to be more MAGA than MAGA themselves. Exactly. So I was out at the van and we were trying to like fix the bedding and stuff in there and pull stuff in and put stuff out there. And I remember one time she stepped in front of me and then like she forgot that I have like a towing hitch. So she hit her leg on it. And I didn't know what was happening because I was standing behind her. And all of a sudden I see her just go, oh no. And then she just turns into a ball in real time and just accepts falling over. And I'm just like, baby, what the fuck? She's like going in slow motion, just staring at me, and she goes down. And then she just thuds on the ground. I'm like, I was right here. I could have helped you. Why didn't you like scream or, oh no, I'm falling, or instead of just, okay. she fell she turned into the most graceful ball I've ever seen in my life. She must be used to falling. Resistance is futile. She's full Borg, dude.
Partially lost voters, especially we've seen a lot of young men moving to the right recently. Do you think that the Democratic Party needs
She's
to do
falling for you? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, Stuart. I need the backup, bro, because ADHD key.
more? Like, I feel like events like these are good for pulling more young men towards the left. Do you think that the Democratic Party needs to do more?
Yeah, I think the issue with the Democratic Party is somehow the media apparatus got hijacked by people that don't care about winning elections. I don't know how that happened.
Yes, your Hassan Pikers, your Secular Talks, your fucking Crystal and Ball, and your fucking Sam Cedars, and all these dipshits that actually don't give a fuck about political power, and all they want to do is bitch on the internet so they can make money instead of, like, you know, actually pushing for policies and, you know, advocating for the candidates the Democrats put out. Like, these people spend more of their day bitching about the Democratic Party than they do about MAGA. And they're like, well, we criticize our party because we love it. But then they'll turn around and talk shit about liberals. You don't love our party. You want to completely remove liberals from the party and then make it nothing but socialist and fucking communist. And then, like, we'll have no political power in this country because a majority of our country doesn't want that shit. They want medical rights. That's it. They just want to have free medical. That's what they want. That's all they want. The rest of it, they don't want to fucking give up the means of production. They don't want to fucking, you know, give up all of our investments in the way that we make money in our country. They want free medical. That's it. If you just run on that and drop all the other bullshit, Democrats will be more successful. But instead, they interject all this other shit in there that a majority of people don't fucking want. I look like a bruised salami on the daily, and I don't even notice bumping into things anymore.
On the right, that is the exact opposite. Everybody cares about winning elections. Even when they think they're being stolen, they still think they have to win the election. Yeah, on the left, the messaging got hijacked by people that are interested in other things, social games or whatever, which aren't necessarily bad, but it's not politics. The two big ones, I think, I just read this for your state. I can't. You guys have the wackiest governor names. It's Spansberger, and the other one is what?
Winston Earl Sears.
Earl Sears?
Yeah.
It sounds like a tea company. Okay. Anyway, they're like spending like half their ad budget, I think, on trans stuff. I feel like the trans issue, the Democrats need to have better talking points on this. Personally, I feel like it's pretty easy to.
Another thing that the Democrats need to stop doing is we need to stop placating to just minorities. We need to stop spreading the message that it's bad to be white. Because unfortunately, a majority of people that vote in this country are white. The diversity is not a bad thing to push, but we can't do it by also erasing the white identity. So when white people make their complaints, it's no matter how shallow they are, we should still listen to them because they are part of the voting bloc and they are the ones that primarily vote in these elections that come up for, especially for the president. We need to stop placating to particular audiences and the smaller demographics of people. We need to play to the strengths of all of the people and talk about how all of us are being left behind, not just one particular race. Like Latinx was very unpopular. It was very unpopular. And there's a reason why a majority of the people that vote red now are just white guys. White middle-aged men are voting red because they feel like they've been forgotten by our society. And then when they do suffer, we don't give a fuck. Not to say that their suffering is unique and we need to put them on a pedestal. We shouldn't do that. But these people vote in these elections. We need to placate to them. Another thing we need to start doing is we need to start letting people know that we're not all America bad. The problem with the Democratic Party is that a majority of the time, many of the pundits that talk about America always talk about the faults of America, but will never brag about anything. Like if you go turn on any far left or any left-wing pundit, 9 out of 10 times they're talking shit about America. They're talking shit about colonialism. They're talking shit about imperialism. They're talking shit about our troops. They're talking shit about the American dream. They're talking shit about our housing crisis. They're saying that all of our leaders are weak and ineffective. They don't listen to their constituents. All they do is like talk shit about our country. So then when you get these people that go in to vote, you have one group of people that's saying, America good, America does nothing wrong. And then you have another group of people going, America does everything wrong and we're disgusting monsters and we're racist and we're monsters and we should be ashamed of who we are. That's all you get to pick from. So if you get to pick from these two voices, who are you going to pick? The one that makes you feel like shit or the one that makes you happy? Why do you think Republicans gain the middle class so often? Because they're overworked, they're underpaid, they hate the fucking world, and someone tells them that they're important. They're going to vote for you. You cannot trash our country nonstop and then expect people to give a fuck to show up and vote. They don't care. You're tuning people out. You got to talk about some of the good things America does. We can talk about how we can criticize our shortcomings in the medical industry and our military industrial complex. We can criticize these things, but we shouldn't be all out America bad while doing that. We could talk about the good things America does and then the bad things America does and how America could live up to its highest aspirations and be a better country. If you have that messaging, more people would be on board with what you're saying. But if you come out and say stupid shit like America deserved 9/11, or you come out and say stupid shit like all American soldiers deserve PTSD, or you come out and say that Israel has no right to defend itself whatsoever, like all of these things make people want to move away from your party. Like we understand that there's a duality in life, that there's multiple layers to everything. Everything is complicated. It's not night or day. Every issue requires deep insight and deep thought about each thing, and there are multiple perspectives that need to be thought of. But if we just spend the entire time attacking our own party and our own people within that party, they're not going to stay in your party, and then they're going to move to the other side and then start voting against your interest. Why does recognizing bad acts in the past have to mean punish the bad actors' ancestors? Like you can recognize wrongdoing without demonizing people. Look like at Germany, they teach that shit out. Exactly. I used to sit there while people around me would be debating and listen, and when I did say something, it would shut up everyone. Great. 'Twas great. I agree there was a big split between the way men and women view Trump. Exactly, dude. And some of that came down to some of the rhetoric that has existed in America for 20 years. Dude, my entire life I was told I couldn't talk about issues of abortion or a single issue that involved women because I'm a man. Now, I voted by and large to support women my entire life. But I know a bunch of men that quit supporting women because they were being treated like shit by women. They're like, why am I going to keep bending over backwards for women when they don't even realize I exist? It's like, that's a good fucking point. Why would you? Why would you continually vote for people's interests that have no interest in they actually think that you're a disgusting monster that shouldn't be around. You know how many women I've met in my life that and is now tainted? Rude. You know how many women in my life I've heard say terrible shit of the bad they did during World War II without making everyone feel like they're the devil that owns the blame, teach, recognize, move on, do better. Exactly, dude. I remember I remember you were on X a lot. Well, yeah, I was on X a lot. But that was just to yell at Republicans. But the amount of women I've heard say unhinged shit, like men aren't necessary, men do nothing for our society, all men can die, kill men, rape men, men are pigs. Like, you just hear this growing up in America for the last 30 years. I heard this my entire life. I heard this in schools. I heard this in high schools from teachers. Because I had a lot of feminist teachers, because it was during the time of the second wave of feminism, and like they were fighting for their rights and they were entering the workforce, and you know, women have been subjugated for a very long time, so they have a lot of reason to hate men. Women were segregated, weren't they? Women were like in security or secretary jobs, and men were in other jobs.
You're talking, I'm behind you, so I don't know what.
Well, I got you. Anyway, I've heard a lot of women say a lot of heinous shit in my life. And I still manage to vote for them because I vote for the things women do because I believe in them. But I can understand wholeheartedly why some men would be like, yeah, I'm not supporting this anymore. You know, get a group of men together. It's like testosterone city. Well, yeah, because men are fucking petulant children. But my point that I'm trying to make is that if you spend a lot of time, it's no different than my point about the Democrats. Women alienated their male viewers or male voters for years, told them that their opinion shouldn't exist. They need to no longer talk. They're in the era of listen. They need to sit down and shut up. Anytime a man says something, it's mansplaining. Like we saw this during the culture wars for the last 20 years. If you were on YouTube at any point during this time, it was everywhere. And so it makes sense why men would tune the fuck out from voting to help women, when women have bastardized and treated men like shit for years. Why do you think the men's right movement is so powerful now? Why do you think dipshits like Tom McDonald and Dax have millions of followers? Do you think these guys have these followers because men aren't feeling these pressures and stresses? No. And do you know why they placate to these guys? Because these people are emotional children. Like, my point is still valid, Pinhead. All I'm saying is if you want people to vote for what you want, you have to treat them with some form of respect. And treating men poorly during that time had a negative outcome. And now we have, for the first time in 30, 40 years, abortion rights are being completely stripped away from women. Women tried it their way and it's not working. All women need is a big, strong man to come in and lead the feminist movement. I got you. I'll be that man. And I'll mansplain the fuck out of it.
To defend transitioning for adults. I think that it's harder, but I think you can make the arguments for 14 and older or for minors having access to this treatment with a physician approved and everything. I think that the athlete argument is wacky, and that needed to be ejected like 20 years ago. It's just the dumbest thing in the universe to die on, and it just gives Republicans such an easy talking point. Make them, hunt on some other ground than this the dumb trans athlete thing. It's so stupid. And then
the negativity is spread like in memes. Yep, there's that. I think that's how Trump. One of the main reasons Trump got elected. So much until it becomes real in people's eyes. Agree. The feminist movement wasn't only destroyed from within, but also hijacked by a misogynist. So there's two forces working against each, and it's tarnished the majority of what it actually is. Exactly. I think third wave feminism when it kind of went off the rails. There's good and bad in both sexes, but men have traditionally been in positions of power, so their capacity for doing bad things is greater. I would agree with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we alienate men in the process, you're just going to make another adversary that isn't necessary. Yeah, this is very depressing and disheartening, man. No clue where this world is going. Yeah. Well, it's complicated, but like the biggest issue was for the longest time, again, for like the last 12 years, the left has shut down conversation. I remember Rachel Maddow had someone on her show, and I don't even agree with what the guy was saying, but she tried to go on about the fact that women make less money than men. Now, you have to come at this conversation in good faith. There are two ways that you can approach this conversation. If we were to talk about total hours worked in a day, women make less money. Because when a woman comes home from work, she also has to cook, she also has to clean, she also has to do a bunch of all these other things, also like all these other little things that add up as unpaid labor. So if you're adding that into the equation of whether or not a woman is making the same amount of money as men, sure, yes, women get paid less. which you need to make that clarification when you're making that argument. But the problem is people don't make that clarification. Women will just come out and say women make less money than men, and then you can just look at the data and it doesn't show that. Women make the same amount of money per hour as men do. By and large, men are willing to work longer hours than women. Women enjoy more personal time off from work than men do. Now, some of that is culturally decided because women also had this long history of having to take care of the home, taking care of kids, and all these various other issues that have made it to where they probably value being away from a job more than a man. Education system differences. That's the answer to everything. I mean, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. I forgot what I was saying, though. Fuck. I did it again.
I think if we ever go back to real politics and not just obsessing over girl cock, 24/7 like we always want to.
Hold on, dude. Obsessing over girl cock is not necessarily a bad thing, okay? That is one of my addictions. I always thought, even as a little kid, that women should get paid for their housework. Shrugs. Oh, yeah. So if we were going to have an honest conversation about that, when you say that, men do actually make the same amount of money as women typically from the job's perspective, not in total hours worked in their day. Which I don't know why anyone would add that to the equation, because that's not how we determine things on a job level. That's just some kind of way that they can put up bullshit numbers to justify their complaint when the complaint no longer matches reality, especially now in America where a majority of women are now making more money than men, because one of our biggest contributors of our society in America right now is moving away from service and more into the medical industry, and where women are primarily going to school and actually graduating, and they're actually, fulfilling their classes and stuff like that. It's actually the opposite now. Now, how often will feminists openly admit that? Probably never. Most feminists won't say that, because it goes against the narrative that women are perpetually in a victim complex, because you have to be in a victim complex in order to complain about those issues. It's the same reason why men do it, despite the fact that men usually hold positions of power, all this other stuff. And then it's crazy because it is crazy because men are sensitive fucking snowflakes. One of the best criticisms you could give to the patriarchy is that men don't even really want to be in the patriarchy as well. If so, then why is it that, people like dipshit, people like Dax are releasing songs about the struggles of men and how hard it is to provide? Quite clearly, they're not enjoying it if that's the way it is. And it's crazy because feminism is trying to dismantle that system. We did the research. There's equality in wage, but there are more men who make high wages. What the fuck?
There's not more women making high wages than men. That's not true.
Yeah, there is. What do you mean?
No.
More and more women are graduating college.
Yeah, that does not equal. When they get the job, they make the same amount of money as men.
And
yes.
an indicator of college is that if people that go to college, they are more likely to make 1.5. They're more likely to make $1.5 million.
All the boomers that hold all the money, that's still men. Women still haven't made it into the higher
They're
level.
dying off.
Yeah, eventually. So
They're not even in the workforce anymore.
We did this already. Why are we having this conversation?
Oh my god.
We did the research on it. One other time we did a debate.
Anyway, women have the kids who will be absent from work more, and usually the default parents will stay home more. And the DPI as such will affect her retirement. Keeping a female boss any day. Every female boss I've ever had. No, I've never had a competent female boss ever in my life. I usually get fired if my boss is female. It actually happens every time. I've never actually managed to have a female boss longer than 6 months ever in my life. I remember, matter of fact, my last job, I was working at Worldwide Equipment, and I was the #1 employee. And then as soon as they got rid of the lesbian female boss we had and then hired in some prissy white bitch, within like 2 months, I was on the verge of getting fired. Because they ask for you to do stuff that are illegal. They're like, hey, I want you to start calling after your deliveries. And I'm like, well, then you need to start paying my phone bill. Or give me an allowance for my phone bill. What the fuck? Never thought he would forget. Shh, please. How do I not? I forgot what I just said a second ago.
I feel like the gun.
You've obviously been the problem, Will. Duh. Obviously. Oh my god, dude! I remember I had Ashley Nicole Wolf. This is when I was my most misogynistic dude in my life because working with this woman made me hate women so much. No, not this woman. This lady, Miss Wolf, was such a fucking monster. Holy shit! I remember I was working at Bank of Oklahoma Financial, and this woman she was training me to do the job. And I get a call, and I have this old woman crying her life story to me. Just crying her life story because her house got destroyed in a flood or something. And I get off the phone, and I'm like, how did we do? And she's like, you did good. But maybe you should be less empathetic. And I was like, she lost her house. Yeah, but, she's the one who didn't pay her mortgage correctly. So, this is why I was like, she didn't pay her mortgage correctly because her husband died. She was dealing with a funeral. She missed one payment in 20 years. Like, sucks for her. Pay your bills, bitch. And I was like, oh, I could totally be misogynistic depending on what the issue is. But why is this woman completely okay with the suffering of another woman? Aren't you supposed to be a human? If an old woman calls you up and saying, my husband just died 3 weeks ago, my house got flooded, I've lost all of my memories, my entire life is upended, I've missed one payment in 25 years, my house is 99% paid off, and you don't give a fuck about this woman suffering? You just, fuck her, dude. She should have paid her bill. If that's what the female bosses are going to be, give me a man. What the fuck? That is some cold-hearted... I've never seen a man say that. Ever in my life. I've never seen a man go, fuck that bitch. She should have just paid her bill. Fucking cunt. I've never heard that in my life. What? I'm sorry, dude. The women that make it scare the fuck out of me. They might be more monsters than the men. Fuck that. You have to be a monster to make it as a woman, I guess, dude. What the fuck? I was like, yeah, this ain't the job for me. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to go home and want to kill myself because I'm being an evil person. No. That's your male privilege. If my male privilege makes me a better person, I'm okay with that. If I have the privilege, I need to use it. It feels like an insult not to use it then, right? What the fuck?
Gun issue. Democrats need a better approach to it. The obsession with the AR-15s and rifles and everything, I think, are a little bit silly. But yeah, they need to figure out messaging on social issues better, and to be able to kind of push away some of the radical social messengers on the left who don't care about winning elections. And I would say guns is a substantial larger issue they need to move on to. But
dude, I've stuck to my principles a lot, but it tends to get me terminated because you're not supposed to have principles at work. You're supposed to do what you're told.
politics are so divorced from real issues right now. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I need a bigger coat. It's cold.
No,
what
a bitch.
I'm okay. I'll suffer. No, I'm suffering though. Okay. I am suffering.
Hi, my name's Paul.
Look, this guy's suffering. You're.
I'm warm, I guess. I don't know.
Cold. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Paul.
I
What's
can't
up?
give you the vigorous debate you want, but I guess there's one question I'll ask is, you always say we live in a fuck media environment, and I totally agree. And you said earlier we need to have a come to Jesus moment. I don't see how that can happen with how the incentive structure within our current media environment's built up, TikTok and all that.
It can't happen unless we, the people that consume the media, ask for a difference. It's just that simple. And you're like, I'll be back.
They incentivize a lot of aggressive and out there messaging, which the Democrats, doesn't really benefit from. How do you think we can move forward to turn that into political success?
I think there's a lot of different things that have to happen. One, there are so many different levels that this has to be combated on. One is just a cultural thing. Politics somehow infected every single fucking aspect of our life.
True.
Such that, every hobby is political, every TV show is everything is political. I think one of the downsides to this is that everybody involved in all of these topics feels like
you have to say, I'll be back. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I typically don't even have female friends, dude. They usually get offended at the stuff I say. It's pretty rough. because I'll make a joke about sex or something. I'm like, ew, gross. Why are you talking about that? I'm like, because it's fucking hilarious. Like, for example, when men fuck women, and they're like, what is it? When men are on top and women are underneath, I don't remember what position that is. What? I don't remember. Essentially, a man is just twerking. That's all a man is doing. A man is on top of you twerking. That's hilarious to me. That man is dropping it like it's hot, bro. His booty is swinging. If they're fat enough, it might clap. Just saying. That's hilarious. And if you're like, ew, how gross. Why would you talk about that? Like, bro, because it's fucking funny. Men twerk. They get on their fucking high horse all the time about women. But man, these motherfuckers in there twerking it, dude. They're dropping it like the money is dependent on it, bro. Example to prove this? Oh, doing missionary work. I'm just telling you, bro. And like all my female friends for years would be like, you're disgusting. I'd be like, okay, well then clearly I don't want to be around you. I go tell that joke to my homies. They be dying. They be dying. Sometimes they're grown up a little bit and they're like, Will, what's wrong with you? Seek Jesus. But those people are becoming religious freaks and fuck them.
It's like they need to have a strong political opinion on something, and you know, like just because you watch a TV show or listen to some shitty comedian doesn't mean you also have to be like bought into this political movement. So we need to like culturally kind of push back politics from invading every single facet of, you know, our
True. Watching a TV show shouldn't be fucking political. Watching a game review shouldn't be political. Listening to a song shouldn't be political. I mean, all of these things have political undertones where, you know, the person that creates it will probably have some worldview that they're perpetuating. Can you give us a demonstration? I'm not sure I'm really following. No. The white girl in me cannot twerk, dude. You can look, Kia's right here. I have no booty to speak of, bro. I can't even keep my pants up. If I twerk for you, I'm going to get kicked because my basketball shorts will fall. Have you ever seen Adam Sandler twerk? Add 300 pounds to that. That's Will. Okay? Show us never.
Our culture. I think that's really detrimental. I think that Democrats need to do a better job at like pushing through on.
Well, hold on. We're trying to keep monetization allowed on here. Someday. I'll tell you what. I'll put it on the OnlyFans just for you. I'll sell it for $1. What? It's a $1 gallery. You can watch Will Berry twerk. Twerking right on it.
Like holding people accountable when they're engaged in behavior that is very, very bad when it comes to not doing their job in Congress, when it comes to like just telling blatant lies in the
God, I want one of those Red Bulls so fucking bad. I haven't had an American Red Bull in 2 months. I'm fucking only cord. I'll tell you what, I'll upload the video to the TTP. 50 Shades of William. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna make all the girls from the TTP have to see Will Berry twerk. It's gonna be glorious. I'm gonna back it up too. I'm gonna back it up good.
the media. Like Fox News, I don't think should exist as a network after the Dominion stuff.
True.
I think that there must be some FCC action or something to where it can't be that you openly pushed a lie for an entire election season that you knew was a lie, and there were no consequences for that except the $780 million payout to Dominion.
I guess my question is, we can see like the Trump polling right now. I mean, he's doing all this stuff like
Deal. The first time Kia goes live on camera, I will twerk. That'll be the gift. But also, I'll do one for the TTP.
Mm-hmm.
the killings in the ocean, and then like prepping for war in Venezuela. At least it's looking like it. How? I mean, we live in a world where all of this is happening, and his polling is consistent. It's flatlined, right? He's doing so much stuff, and it hasn't changed at all. I mean, even if the Democrats adapt culturally, I mean, I don't see how that's going to change anything on the right.
Well, you need to fight on.
Poor Kia. Well, I do feel bad for my poor girlfriend. But, I mean, she's dating a YouTuber. You know what I mean? A YouTuber who's fucking circling the drain.
We're fighting basically to turn out Democratic voters, and then you're kind of fighting around like independents, basically. Trump will never lose popularity with Republicans. Republicans have already shown that they are valueless ghouls that will have no values or principles around literally any possible thing. Like the concept of states' rights, they clearly don't care about.
True.
I'll never take another conservative seriously talking about we have guns to fight against a tyrannical government, as
True.
Trump literally abuses the government and the federal government in any way possible. The idea of we voted for no new wars, and I don't even know why, but we're gearing up to like coup the Colombian leader and go to war with Venezuela, and Trump is openly like it's an insane joke. It's a walk back on every single conservative principle, and Trump. Once Trump is gone, I think there's going to be a bit of a moment where everybody's like, "Oh, I didn't."
Her face will forever be immortalized next to Will's and missionary twerking. Indeed. Hopefully by then the neck is gone a little bit and the cheeks get a little more plump. You know what I mean? So this way it looks a little better on camera, dude. Will always have us. Lost ones unite. Exactly, dude.
Support that guy. Like it's crazy. I don't even know how we went to war with Iraq when you talk to every single person in this
Hey, babies.
country, they all say they didn't support the Iraq war, which is interesting. So I don't know how that happened. So I feel like it's probably going to happen with Trump, where a lot of people are going to say I never supported that. But there needs to be a reckoning. Like that type of behavior just can't be acceptable, and it has to be hit at like every.
Dude, she spoils me. You should read some of those comments. Apparently, the first time you get on camera, I have to twerk. And Miss Barn here was like, "Oh man, forever her face will be immortalized next to the cheeks."
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bummer. At this rate, you'll disappear into a vajayjay.
Oh boy.
Bro. If I lose enough weight and I start looking like a hunk, oh my god, bro. She's gonna have a trophy husband. It's gonna be great, dude. Just get to show me off at places. I need to get a 6-pack. I don't think she likes the 6-pack idea, though. It would break the internet.
level, like the legal level, the legislative level, the cultural level. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, and I hope the audio is unfucked this time.
It's beautiful. You can hear it. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Samuel.
What's up, Samuel?
So
Do you really go by Samuel or Sam or?
Sam is fine.
I've never heard a Samuel like introduction in my life. I've known a lot of Sams, but that's okay. That's cool. I like it. Okay.
Okay, I'm Sam.
Okay. You can be Samuel. No, you're good. You're good.
So I have a question.
Samuel is a pretty gangster name, actually. Fuck yeah! Do it!
Would you agree that when violence is truly unnecessary, that we should avoid it?
When it's truly
Fucking Lou, it's gonna break something. The bed. Ah! Look, we bought one of those mattress or bed frames that can hold up to like 2,000 pounds.
3,500.
35, okay. So technically, like 6 Wills can get in there and have an orgy with themselves. And that bed should theoretically still hold. And yet somehow, I'd be popping shit out on it left and right, and I'm just one guy. What the fuck?
necessary.
Like, truly, there's no, like, real reason to have violence.
Yeah, violence should always be a last resort, I think.
Yeah. So
let's aim for the 1-pack first. Fucking fags, dude. Let's just aim for the fact that I can see my dick again. You know, I got a complaint. I'm losing weight in the face. I'm losing weight in the tummy. Losing weight in the legs. But I ain't losing weight in the fupa. What the fuck is that? Why is the fupa the last place to lose weight? That's the only place I give a fuck about, bro. That's all I care about. I'd be fat everywhere else. Ren has a 6-pack. I have a large shanty.
So, given that every year tens of billions of animals are like
Oh,
raped
God.
and mutilated and tortured and slaughtered for no reason other than human enjoyment, would you say that that is necessary or not?
I don't know. Next week we're coming back with the vegan tour, anti-vegan tour, and we can do the vegan tour. I don't think that I don't think the animals are of a kind of thing that I give moral consideration to, like humans or whatever. But
So just no. Like if
I don't give them that. I mean, I'll give my dog moral consideration, but the rest of the animals, I don't own them. They don't own me. Actually, that's all a dog really does. A dog and a cat, bro. See, a dog, you get a best friend that owns you. Okay? A cat, you get a king that owns you. Sometimes it's nice to be owned.
if someone were to like kick a dog for fun, you would not have a problem with that?
I think they're being mean to the dog. But I mean, my takes are edgy on this. Okay. Yeah.
Oh God. Edgy takes.
I think if people care too much about, I think if you're a meat eater, I think that people can get too invested in like the abuse of like cats and dogs. I think it's a very hypocritical position to take. So, yeah, I don't think I'm not going to stand out and say this is the worst thing in the world for people that eat meat, but that's like my sociopath position. I think if it's something that super does bother you, though, I think you should probably reconsider your dietary habits. Yeah.
Okay, but you don't personally think that animals have these moral considerations, even when it's not necessary?
I wouldn't say so. Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you. Oh my God, veganism and abortion are the two things I hate talking about the most. What do you? Okay,
no,
yeah.
this is perfect. Actually.
Yeah, what do you
Okay,
got?
So you draw the line for the moral considerations of abortion at the point of conscious experience.
Oh, sure.
But I think you can make a pretty strong argument for conscious experience in animals. Do you think it's just like?
Oh my God, here we go. Okay, Kia, this is one of your guys's now. See how this works out.
I would say of a different kind of conscious experience that I can't know about. I'm humanly solipsistic. I just don't believe in their conscious
I
experiences.
think you just don't care about animals personally, but
Well, listen.
which is fine.
If there's any kind of moral truth, okay, the animals taste good for a reason. So I'm just saying it's kind of weird to put them there
Fair enough.
for that reason.
You'll soon feel the crushing disappointment when you realize you've traded flub for loose skin. Trust me, I know. Bro, I'm already there. The reason why I didn't feel like I was losing weight is because my stomach is still hanging out at the bottom of my shirt. But the reason for that is it's getting smaller, but now the skin's looser. So now it looks like I'm even fatter than before. She says no. I feel like I get more dangle underneath my shirt now. And it's fucking annoying.
It is a hard one. My hot take is that like if lab-grown meat becomes a thing, this is a really hot take, but I could see like animal agriculture being like the slavery topic of like the year 2150, where people look back and they're like, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
Like it would probably be the next
If
thing.
we had like actually strong alternatives.
If we had like the lab-grown meat stuff, or whatever. Yeah.
Bro, as soon as if me and Kay get to the point where we can get married, and I can become like a kind of a citizen to this country, I could get Ozempic and then lose a fuck ton of weight. But now I have to do it all the hard way because I can't pay for I don't make enough money to pay for Ozempic. I might only make $20 this month. Jesus Christ. And then on top of that, there's no free medical for me because I don't technically live here.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I guess I feel like the animal consciousness position is like just a weird position of yours because like
Why
I
just say
said in the
human
abortion-
conscious experience? We're talking about humans, so I'm talking about human conscious experience. But
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I guess your approach to like understanding morals like on the animal realm is just interesting because I feel like you have your position isn't really clearly defined. I don't understand why there's like such a distinction between like animals and humans in your mind in terms of like the ethical divide, but
I don't know. Ask God.
okay.
It's like an outer bounds of like unknowable things of like.
But we have science that like studies the consciousness of animals and things like that. We know that like the psychological processes are really similar for a lot of advanced
Yeah,
animals.
sure, but like, is that definitive of like a conscious experience in the way that ours exists? I'm not sure.
I mean, there's divides, but like then you get into the argument of like people who
Have
are like
disabilities
mentally
or
disabled and things like that probably have cognitive processes that are pretty similar to that of like
Trump.
a
I'm just
chimp or
kidding.
something.
Trump voters. No. No. Yeah, I understand
Whereas
what
I
you're
feel
saying.
like you'd have the position that like you'd protect those people as well. We'd have a moral obligation.
Yeah, probably, but you would do it on the basis of their ontology, of the fact that they're humans and they belong to a group of people that we protect, basically, not necessarily because of their individual.
Okay, but let's say I change all of my lifestyles, right? I'm off of Red Bull. I eat healthier food. And then eventually we can get to the point where we're doing keto again. Because right now, Kia gets mad secretly because I am losing weight because I don't need to be on that strict of a diet to lose weight. But she feels like she's gaining weight, which she's not. We saw the results of her test. It's like almost the same. But, when we get to the point where I can lose enough weight, we could go full send on a crazy diet, and then she can get back to her figure that she thinks is super beautiful, even though I think it's beautiful already. She's pretty hard on herself, man. But if I do the hard work now, if I get on Ozempic, brother, it'd be easy as fuck then. And if I become a lawful citizen, I can then go to them and be like, yo, hey, I lost a bunch of weight. Can I get the surgery to like reattach my skin correctly, please? That's provided, dude. It'd take probably months and years to get it done, but bro, one day, I might look sexy again.
Capabilities or
for the first time.
Or disabilities or abilities.
For sure, but you don't. I guess in the abortion debate, like you say that the ontology argument emerges once this person has a sufficient level of conscious experience.
A conscious experience, yeah.
But if you have like a mentally disabled person, they never reach that.
I think they still have a conscious experience. Yeah, it might be cognitively impaired.
That I would say is
okay. So he's trying to make the argument for pro-life that consciousness isn't a good metric to find because consciousness is also in animals, and so because consciousness is in animals, that we're okay to kill animals, so we shouldn't be use consciousness as a means to not kill, newborn babies or 20-week-old babies or whatever. It's the same thing that Trent Horn tried to justify and stuff like that. But when we're talking about the human conscious experience that makes humans reflective and capable and empathetic to understand and listen to a strict set of rules, laws, and regulations, and then allowed to put ourselves in a society and organize ourselves in a way that we can build up a society for the greater good for our entire community. Animals typically don't do that. Most times animals, if they do that in like a pack where they have like a king or whatever, a hunter or an elder or a wise person. Most animals eventually, their entire drive is survival. They form packs to survive. Hell, even fucking bears. Bears are more solitary in their lifestyle choices, but even then, they gather during mating seasons to, get their freak on.
Like equal to that of an animal, likely.
I don't know if I would assume that, but it's hard. We can't even talk about each other's conscious experiences, so it's hard for me to opine much on an animal's. Get the fuck out of here, these vegan arguments, okay? Go. We're talking about our country right now, okay?
This
No,
wasn't even
but I
a
appreciate
question.
it.
He just activated me.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good.
So I had a second question though. So,
yeah, go for it. Israel, Palestine. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I feel like you haven't taken a super strong. I haven't seen you take a super strong position on what the line is for like what necessary political violence is.
Yeah, because I don't want to get banned on YouTube.
Of course, yeah. But I would challenge you. I feel like you feel that there's a point where political violence is acceptable, and I think like with this administration, I mean, if things advance like over the next 3 years as they have in this.
Yeah, the issue is like there's a boiling pot thing to where you don't realize that things are bad. Like we keep saying, I think Ezra Klein's video of like the moment is here. I think wasn't that like in March?
Maybe I
where like this is it, guys. Everything happens so gradually. Like we're seeing like political indictments for opponents. That's crazy.
I think they gather more for hibernation. Well, yeah. Isn't it true they put pine cones in their ass? They'll eat pine cones to stuff them up. I'm sorry, dude. Hibernation sounds awful. Waking up to have a gigantic 4-month poop with pine cones in it? Jesus Christ. Never heard that?
Who was doing that?
I heard bears used to eat pine cones to help plug up their buttholes so they can hibernate. What?
Easy. The Comey, the Bolton indictment. It's just like, okay, so we're doing this. This is insane. But it was insane when Trump truthed out Pam Bondi. You need to indict these people, and if you're not going to do it, or we don't have a prosecutor for it, I've got this this insurance attorney or whatever who can do it, and she is, and she's the one doing the. Is it Harrison or I don't remember the name or whatever.
I keep forgetting there.
But
I think someone lied to you, Bub. Dude, it was in a fucking Eddie Murphy. It was in Dr. Dolittle. Remember that when he goes and gets the bear and the bear's like, oh man, I don't want to fucking hibernate. And he's like, you got to go eat a pine cone and it constipates you. And he was like, what? I'm out. And then the bear took off. Was that Dr. Dolittle? Wasn't that like Dr. Dolittle 3? With a bear named Sonny or something? Am I fucking going crazy? Probably going crazy.
When I talk about violence, the only thing that, and it's hard because especially, if you're at college or if you're talking to my audience, like generally most of
Dr. Doolittle's not real? Bro, what do you mean it's not real? I watched it. It's clearly real.
us are decently well off, and even like minority types who are decently well off are somewhat insulated, not completely, but somewhat more insulated than other at-risk groups to stuff that's going on in society. I just think when you talk about violence, one thing that people will say oftentimes is they'll say things like, well, I don't want to get political, or I think that we need to avoid violence at all costs necessary, but they ignore like the existing like institutional or structural violence that is like very real and very existing. And it's a little bit frustrating sometimes. Like, obviously, you don't want people going.
Yes, but fact check, they eat them for the seeds.
They're nutritious, not constipating.
But they eat them anyway. Slam dunk! Nobody lied to me.
Going to war, it's not good. But for people to say things like, people go and protest ICE, and they'll be like, this is crazy, like you're blocking them from, doing whatever, it's an insurrection, or there's violence against some ICE agents, like we need to have no violence. And it's like, okay, like I just saw an Apache helicopter, like flying to fucking Chicago and, take like 36 people out of a building. I was like, that's, like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we doing? Like, there's some level of violence.
These people don't give a fuck about violence because they're okay with the violence being perpetuated on fucking immigrants and stuff like that. Eating the seeds and plugging their poopy butts are two different things, though. Let's be real. The outcome is the same. Okay, they're eating something. Maybe the intent was misunderstood initially, but they're still eating pine cones, bro. And they still plug their butthole.
That is being systematically.
So do
Look, dude, I hit a brick wall here, and now I'm trying to justify my statement.
you think we are close to that line then?
I think that certain people are closer over it.
What?
Yeah, I would be sympathetic towards it. I'll say that much. Yeah, but with the understanding that like it shouldn't get to that point. There's no reason for it to get to that point. One of my biggest frustrations with the second Trump term is that all of America's pain right now is self-inflicted. Like at
Nature is very metal. Yes.
the end of Trump 1, like COVID happened. That wasn't our fault. Well, I guess it depends who you ask. And then for Biden's term, you had, we were dealing with all the inflation fallout and everything from COVID. We had the Russia-Ukraine war, that had a bunch of food issues and other inflation stuff. So, like, I understand that. And then Trump comes in, and there's, like, nothing going on. Like, everything is, like, we're kind of recovering. Everything is going okay. And he's like, I'm just going to fuck up everything now. And it's like, for what reason? Like, why? Because of fentanyl coming in from Canada? Because of Venezuelan drug boats? Like, this is, like, these aren't real things. I don't know why we're nuking our whole country over, like, these issues.
Those things do slap, Pixie. They do.
And I think that every time he talks about them, I feel like I'm more proven right by that. Because at first it was like 10 million illegals that Biden let in, and then it was 15, and then 20. The last time I heard it was 25 million. I don't know if these people are teleporting into the country or if just 10 million illegals came in and they all gave birth to anchor babies. Or
all right, I want to just get to the stuff that I want to watch. I'm not watching the Gaza shit. I'm not watching now. Are Democrats losing? How to unite the country? Okay. Watch this one.
this question, I'm going to look at it.
They are totally the same.
Well, I'm back. My name is Joe, by the way. So you brought it on yourself because you said it like two or three times. But what's your stance on the Israel-Palestine issue?
Don't laugh at me. Okay, Israel-Palestine. What is my stance on it? That's a very broad question. What do you mean?
What's your stance on the Israel action in Gaza, the Gaza war?
I mean, like, I was largely supportive of, like, I think they needed to take some action after October 7th. I mean, I'd be largely supportive of that. I don't think Hamas can be left as the governing body in Gaza. I think that would be insane. I think that the international community has done a great disservice to everybody in that region by only trying to, scold Israel over and over again and don't seem to care at all about Hamas. But one very frustrating thing for a lot of people that talk about Israel and the history of like Israel in this region is people always view Israel as this like country that is like constantly starting wars to take territory, and they've got the Greater Israel, blah blah blah. It's like all this like crazy shit. Like Israel will never like start shit like this to expand their territory, but Israel is incredibly opportunistic, and people fail to realize that sometimes. So you've got the people, the crazy pro-pallies who argue that Israel is like the next Satan spawn country who's always doing evil things, and then you've got conservatives who I guess just want to give infinite money to Israel for whatever fucking reason. But the reality is like Netanyahu has used like this war to advance I would argue, a really cancerous Israeli
True.
position that is going to completely fuck over the Palestinians in the foreseeable future.
And ultimately fuck over Israel as well. Taking and stealing more land during these crises, especially in the West Bank, is a bad move. And people have been calling for them to tear down those settlements for years. And they're not going to. And as long as the war continues and we keep perpetuating the war in the way that we are, such as giving carte blanche for Palestine to do whatever it wants, and we keep telling them that someone's going to come rescue them, it's going to continue to happen. And over time, Israel's going to take more and more stuff, more and more people are going to die, and then eventually there's not going to be Palestine to defend. The only solution is to force both of these people to come to the table. And if you tell them what's happening to them is a genocide, they're not going to come to the table. Why would they? They're being genocided. And then if we keep giving carte blanche to fucking Israel to do whatever it wants, it's not doing these things to gain the land, but while this conflict is going on, you're damn sure they're going to take it.
Like saying that they are going to de-radicalize Gaza, whatever that means, saying they're going to reform the PA, whatever that means. Yeah, and like basically keeping the two people separate and avoiding any kind of actual settlement on any of the long-standing issues between Israel and Palestine.
It was an interesting take. I agreed with the first half of what you said, at least. I think that Hamas, like you said, has no role in the future. It needs to be gone.
True.
I would say that Israel has taken the action it has needed to do so. I think a lot of people have.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They're going above what they needed to do. I'm not one of those guys that are going to lose my... You sure, Pixie, you're not surrounded by big chubby bears with poopy pinecone butt plugs singing Kumbaya? Hell, dude, that sounds pretty fun, actually. That sounds pretty gangster. Like the reverse, what was the monsters from Star Wars? I don't remember what that was. Do you remember what that was? The monsters from Star Wars? The Ewoks? Yeah, Ewoks. Reverse Ewoks, bro.
Have fallen for the propaganda from the Hamas Palestinian Health Ministry, saying that so many children have been killed.
Yeah,
There's
they
no
were cute,
verified
but they were
reports of that
still
at
monsters.
all. So the propaganda campaign of the Islamic left is been.
Oh no, this guy sounds like me, and he's MAGA. Oh no.
Really good, unfortunately. And I just don't see how. I mean, I like the idea that of the peace plan that was put forward. I just don't see how the international community is going to actually take a step up and do anything, because European leaders want to go to the UN, and the UN is just bullshit. It's just fucking bullshit. Excuse the language.
I mean, I don't think the UN is bullshit. Peace will happen.
It is. They don't do anything.
Peace will happen in Israel when another leader comes up that wants to make peace with the Palestinians.
And how is it? What does peace in that regard look like?
Some permanent settlement of the issues.
We've been talking about some nebulous permanent.
It could be a two-state solution. It could be, I don't know. It has to be some kind of formal agreement between.
Right, but when you think about a two-state solution, doesn't that just mean the Palestinian side is going to get? Is it going to be run by a terrorist?
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true, and that's the way all governments are formed. In order to form a government, you form a cell, a terrorist cell, and you overthrow the government, and then you become the new government. That's how America was founded. That's how every country who's ever existed was founded. A terrorist is usually just the thing resisting the current occupier of control. Terrorism is just another branch to government, essentially, to some extent. And that's why usually if you are resistant to the status quo, you are labeled a terrorist. Now, typically terrorists do heinous acts, and that's usually when we're supposed to be like, not cool. Like if you have a problem with the military, you should go after the military. Though that's still bad, you shouldn't avoid civilians in that process. This is why, who was it? Nelson Mandela, though they did do violent acts in Africa, they were very limited, and he openly advocated for doing the least violence as possible, and only do the base necessary violence for any kind of change. And he, I think in Nelson Mandela's 20 years, they killed a handful of people, versus Hamas that killed 1,400 in one day, because the goal wasn't change, it was terrorism. You could just feel the tension of diarrhea waiting to burst out behind that spiked butt plug. True.
Well, I mean, there's
just
the
like
Palestinian
Hamas.
Authority, there's the PLO. Like,
Well, the PLO and the Palestinian Authority were both. Well, the PLO itself was a terrorist organization. The PA is its successor and not much better than Hamas.
PA is infinitely better than Hamas.
It's not much better
It's
than Hamas.
infinitely better than
No,
Hamas.
it's not.
That's an insanely unhinged statement.
No,
On
it's
October
not.
7th,
No, it's
the
not.
PA was not invading Israel on October 7th.
No, I didn't say the PA was involved in October 7th. I'm saying that it's not much better than Hamas.
So horrid at Lost to God. What? Bro, the PA is way... I think I'm far too into this poop butt plug imagery right now. Dang, that really sucked me in. Well, now we know how, like, if we ever want to get the spicy talk going, we just bring up pine cone butt plugs, and our girl here is going to just take off and imagine it. Yeah. I'm going to now make a pine cone butt plug and sell it. It's going to be the first product I sell here on my YouTube channel.
They still do not seek actual peace with Israel and have not really come to any sort
Well, their goal
of
isn't
table.
actual peace. Their goal is to just administer to the West Bank, right? But like Israel is the larger party. They've got the larger military. They've got the larger economy.
True.
They've got the support of the United States. Like, if Israel wants there to
I'ma
be
just
a
spray it all.
permanent peaceful settlement, Israel has the power to force those terms and to force a conversation. But Israel sees itself as being able to take advantage of the division between the Palestinians and to just continue to expand to the West Bank. And they're greedy and short-sighted, and they'll continue to do that until the next terrorist attack happens.
Yeah, I think that goes into what you said before, which I agree with, is that the international community always takes the opportunity to blame Israel for anything. So if Israel tries to do something about any sort of solution, it's just going to be blamed for if that solution doesn't work out.
Well, I mean, maybe, but I mean, that can't be a reason not to try. Like, they've created things with the Palestinians in the past.
They did try that. I believe it was Ehud Olmert, I think, back in
2008.
Was it 2008?
Yeah, with Mahmoud Abbas.
Basically said, yeah, we'll give you land for peace, and Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, said, nope, we're not going to take it.
Sure, there have been issues. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Palestinians have fucked up a lot, but like Israel's the bigger party here. Like they can force terms. If they really wanted to, they could make it happen. Yeah,
I hope they do, because I think one of the things that needs to be done is Israel needs to stop giving a fuck about what the international community says.
They
and
don't
do
care what
they
the
know
international
needs to be
community
done
says.
to create a stable situation. Remove the elements of.
They've never cared. Because as soon as the international community started speaking out against Israel, Israel said, fuck you, and we don't care. And no one gives a fuck what UN says. Even the people that are pro-Palestine will use the UN to defend themselves, but then when it comes to criticizing Hamas, they'll be like, oh, Hamas is okay. They're subjugated people, so they're allowed to do all the war crimes and evil shit. So people don't really give a fuck about the UN. And the people that use the UN don't really give a fuck about the UN because they only care about the UN statements until it, reflects poorly on the side they're defending, because people don't have actual morals. They like talking points.
Of propaganda and terrorism that are basically just making lives of the Palestinians.
All news is propaganda. All of it. Anything that talks positive about a country's propaganda. Anything that talks negatively about a country's propaganda. So calling it propaganda doesn't do you a service because everyone knows it's propaganda.
Shit, because that's all they that the people that control Gaza, control the West Bank, are only in it for their own power and don't really, it seems.
We have no way to verify that. You could probably look to some individual stats. The U.S. needs to stop financing Israel, but it'll never happen. I don't think they need to stop financing Israel. I think having a strong ally in the Middle East that wants to uphold democracies is probably a strong thing to keep defending. And then I think the whole world should do that. And we should try to aim the entire world to eventually be a democracy and not necessarily a religious ethno-state. But we can't do any of that because it's all bullshit.
Give a shit about the people that they're supposedly governing.
I mean, maybe it's a complicated issue, though. Like, these are people who feel like they've been dispossessed from a land. These are people who feel like they have, like family members that are living outside the borders that don't have the ability to travel freely, to leave and come back. The history is what?
Which is a reality that's coming out of the reality of terrorism. That.
So he's saying something that I say all the time, and I will now give people a counter argument to my. Yes, these reasons why Hamas was also voted in a while ago. Exactly. Well, which is one of my criticisms of the Palestinian people. One of my criticisms of the Palestinian people is they voted in Hamas, and Hamas was an actual terrorist organization set on doing terrorist atrocities, and they pushed that idea pretty far. And the Great March of Return from 2018 was a beautiful sentiment, which was ultimately destroyed by Hamas. Fuck, forgot what I was gonna say though.
That's coming out of the reality of terrorism.
Oh yeah, we have no way to verify on whether or not these people give a fuck about their citizens. It would be foolhardy, because I don't like it when people say that about politicians in America or in their own country, where they say all politicians are corrupt. Shut the fuck up. You have no idea to know anything. Okay, you don't know what happens in back rooms. You don't know what these conversations are like. You have no fucking clue. Nothing has been proven to you. You are surmising this based off of a system that you think is broken, and you're not seeing the change radically and effective enough for you to warrant like any kind of like, oh yeah, it's working. No, that's fucking stupid. We have no idea to what level of corruption is happening behind the scenes. It's all pure speculation. They're not to say that Hamas gives zero fucks about Palestine is fucking stupid. They live there. These are their neighbors. These are the people they care about. To say that they don't give a fuck about them is just not correct. Maybe Hamas has a better level of self-interest in, you know, their movement and their religion than they do about their citizens. But to say they have zero care, no. Israel would allow journalists in if they didn't have things to hide. I don't buy that either. Because I mean, let's say Israel allows them in and then they die, and they're gonna be like, "Oh no." We can't trust enough of the world governments right now that a single world government is sketchy. Not happening in a mile. Oh yeah, it's not gonna happen in our lifetime.
That Israel has faced for the last.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, like,
4
I'm not going
years?
to say defend Hamas. Hamas is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, at some point, like, Israel is the bigger party here.
Yep.
Israel has the capacity to force some kind of peaceful arrangement.
They also have the funding. They also have the military. You know, like, you don't compare a child and a parent to the same level of scrutiny. Kids get to do a little more fucked up shit because they're a kid. Parents obviously have to walk a tighter rope, and one of these are actually a country and the other one isn't. So like, and one of them has an established body. They have, proper representation at the UN. They have a seat at the table. They have, they're in the pocket of one of the strongest nations in the world. They have all of the power. Like, they're like white Americans in America. Like, white Americans still hold a majority of the power in this country, but they act like they're perpetual victims. Or Christianity to some extent. Christians like to say that they're constantly under siege when more than 60% of Americans are still Christian identifying, though a majority of them can't fucking read the Bible. So, I mean, they're just lying.
Arrangement, but I think Israel enjoys the geostrategic ambiguity of the Palestinian question because it just allows them to further shore up more land in the West Bank. I think that they enjoy it's a thing that benefits them.
I would disagree with that, but I do appreciate the conversation.
I mean, look at what Israel accomplished off the back of the October 7th stuff. They
True.
killed Nasrallah. They killed all the leadership in Hamas. They got to bring the U.S. to Iran to bomb them. I'm pretty sure they bombed the Houthis at some point too. Like, they've gotten so much. They did all the pager attacks and everything for Hezbollah. The Syrian regime collapsed. The Assads are finally gone. So, like, for Israel, this last war was like fucking. They got everything they wanted and more.
But I doubt they would have.
Yeah, they lost nothing in the thing other than the attack on their people. Which, if you were to look at a net outcome, I bet you Bibi jerks off to the amount of people that died in that attack because it gave him carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Wanted to lose 1,500 civilian lives.
I bet you he doesn't give a fuck.
As just to succeed in taking out people that they could have taken out before.
It doesn't seem like they're any closer to figuring out the issue with the Palestinian problem. It doesn't seem like they're any closer to figuring out a solution to that. So I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Listen, I hate all these. I hate the. Do you support the Ukrainians in their war against the Ukrainians against Russia?
I absolutely support Ukrainian territorial integrity.
Why does it upset you that Trump has no concern in the world for this?
It doesn't really upset me because it's an issue that he's been saying that the Europeans need to take up more.
Well, yeah, the Europeans do need to take more of it because they have more of a stake in it. But again, we are the more dominant world power. We have the strongest military on the planet, and we already have a signed peace treaty with them that offered them security guarantees if they gave up their nuclear weapons. So we have a moral obligation to be there, not only because we gave our word, but more importantly, because we want to be a world power and we have bases all around the world. We don't get to sit here and tell ourselves that we're some world power that enforces the laws and rules of the UN if we're not going to do it when it comes at a cost to us. What the fuck?
An issue that he's been saying that the Europeans need to take up more responsibility for. It's on their continent, and that's true.
Well, wait, what do you mean it's true? Well, hold on. My geography's not the best sometimes. Last I checked, Israel's not on our continent. They're even farther from it. Well, are they further from us than Ukraine, maybe?
The difference between Ukraine and Israel is the United States and Israel have had historic ties to each other, and we are basically the only country in the world that is willing to stand up for Israel when that needs to happen.
Sure, but I mean, like, we don't say we could tell like Egypt and Jordan, like, we've given you guys money. You know, maybe you should help Israel.
Well, I mean, it took both of those countries wars to make peace with Israel, and eventually, I think that Syria soon will also join the Abraham Accords with Israel.
Sure, possibly, yeah.
I have a pretty crazy belief about religion that I will not name here on this channel. But what I will say is I don't respect a lot of religious people.
Peace, because I see some hope in the leader there, surprisingly. But anyway, the difference is we don't really have that historical tie with Ukraine.
Who cares? We have a modern necessity for a free and secure Europe that the United States enjoys like a great benefit bringing
True.
in terms of security and trade. Like, I just feel like we have every incentive.
Don't get me wrong. I support efforts to secure Ukraine. I
think the United States has
Europeans
failed.
need to step up and provide a little bit more.
Why not the United States? I feel like we've failed in our obligations as well, though.
True.
To some degree, certainly. And when Biden, not to make this political in terms of that, but when Biden says, well, it depends on what Putin does. If it's a minor incursion, giving, I think this all started in part because of a failure of leadership from the American administration at the time, which was.
America also wanted to be big bro for us to lean on, so Europe has demilitarized over the decades since World War II. Exactly, dude. We don't get to tell the world that we're going to be a military power, and then when it's time to step up to the plate to do that, especially with a signed treaty, we just say, nah, we don't like that because Trump says so, because we can fix schooling here when they have no intent to use that money in any other format. Like, this is the thing. Republicans will come out and be like, we need to stop spending our money. Our roads are falling apart. And you're like, okay, let's pull our funding from this war and let's put a bill out to say that maybe we should repair our roads. Well, hold on. We can't do that. Roads cost money. It's like, okay. What do we do then? They're the most judgmental people, saying one thing in public and doing the exact opposite in private. Exactly, dude.
Was Biden, and it could have been anyone, but unfortunately it happened to be Biden at the time that this happened. But
I mean, Biden and the Democrats wanted to support Ukrainians more, and Republicans started to tie support to Ukraine.
True.
Well, that was prior.
The immigration legislation. And
that was after the invasion. Before the invasion, the Democrats were the ones that didn't really want to support Ukraine.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure Biden was the one that made the decision to publicize all of the information.
Obama did not. In 2014, through the end of the Obama administration, all he gave was defensive weapons and blankets. I know that's
oh
a
my
little bit
God.
of a trope, but he didn't give the
he's like literally Trump's talking point. Jesus Christ.
Ukrainians the weapons they needed.
Sure, that was a different time though. They were only the Donbass civil war and everything in Crimea was going on. It wasn't like a full-throated invasion. I'm just saying it's interesting to hear. Trump lives in this dual ambiguity of like, I want to have no new wars, but we're talking about going to war with Venezuela and Colombia. But then we need to let the rest of the world take care of itself. But then we can send infinite money to Israel, but not Ukraine. I just don't understand the priorities.
First of all, I think it's very clear that the situation with Venezuela and to some degree Colombia is just posturing. It's posturing.
We're already blowing up boats in Venezuela.
We're we're blowing up drug runners, yeah, and then we have every right to
you don't know
so.
they're drug runners. We're just blowing up boats.
We're blowing up boats that we know have narcotics on them.
No? Has any evidence been released to state this? Has this been like deemed by a court?
Nobody knows that because nobody's proven that.
That's
It's a war crime.
doubtful. That is not a war crime.
It's a war
give
crime.
Me a fucking, give me a break.
You
That's
can't
a
kill
war
other
crime.
nations' citizens with your military without being at war with that nation. That's called a war crime. Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's actually not. But
It
anyway.
actually super is. I promise you, it's super not. It's a war crime.
A war crime under what definition?
Under the Rome Statute, under the International Criminal Court, you can't murder another.
Okay. Oh. The International Criminal Court, which the United States is not party to. So fuck that.
That is true. We're not party to it, but there's also
Yeah.
something called international customary humanitarian law, which is like basically international laws that everybody's expected to follow no
And
matter
as-
what. And like murdering another country's citizens is a thing that you can't do that unless you're at war. It's not. I mean, like, I'm not sitting here telling you like we're going to The Hague or whatever. They're going to start arresting our president. I'm just saying that like it's crazy that Donald Trump is openly bragging about doing things that the rest of the world and ourselves would consider war crimes. You can just kill other country citizens with no trial, no due process. We don't.
Man, I'm sorry. I wanted to pause it and read your comment, but Destiny was cooking, and I had to let my boy cook. What I don't hear about in America discourse, though, is how it is Americans' interest to not let Russia expand. If left free reign, don't you think the U.S. will eventually become the target? Of course they will. That's why even Zelensky said that in his conversation with J.D. Vance, when J.D. Vance was like, have you ever said thank you even once? When he had said thank you 5 times in the conversation leading up to that, because J.D. Vance is a fucking moron who can go play in traffic. Bro, it is in our best interest to not let Russia and China join together. Okay, it's in our best interest to stop Russia from gaining more power. It's in our best interest to stop China for gaining more power. It's in our best interest to like also help the idea of our biggest allies from Japan, Canada, and the UK to start building up an army, because we know that China is going to go for Taiwan. We know that Russia is going to continue its aggression. We know that eventually an axis of power is probably going to be formed. A world war is coming. We need to be sure of our shit before it happens.
I don't know if these are drug dealers.
I would hazard a guess that if most Americans understood the context of the situation and why these boats are being blown up, most would probably support it.
Maybe you should make that argument
I don't
to us.
think given proper context, most Americans really give a crap about international law either, and I don't understand why we should give a crap about international law.
Well, then you run into the Hassan Piker argument of America deserved 9/11, right?
No, you don't.
Yes, you
well,
do.
If you're going to conduct yourself without a concern for the rest of the world, then how can you get mad if other people in the world conduct themselves?
True! How the fuck are you going to sit here and like, we use international law all the time to label people terrorists. We use international law all the time to paint people in a negative light. It's one of the justifications we had for going into Iraq, because Saddam Hussein was a piece of shit. Now, we went on false pretenses, but it doesn't change the fact that Saddam Hussein was a piece of shit. Like, international law helps us sparse this information out, because every country is going to have its own laws, regulations, and things that they think is going to be appropriate for it. The reason why we have international law is because look at China and look at India, okay? Both India and China both think that their border are in different places, and they're having ongoing disputes about that very thing today. They still argue about where the border is for their country, and both of them have an invested interest on being correct. You need another mediator to come out from the woodwork to be like, actually, you're both fucking crazy. And if you guys keep this bickering up, all of us are going to come over here and put a boot in your ass. International law helps us sparse this information out in real time. It gives us a level playing field for the entire planet. It's crazy. It's crazy. It matters. Now, of course, a guy who defends Israel isn't going to talk about the importance of international law, because international law has gone against Israel on numerous things that they're doing. Okay. And he doesn't want to give them any credence, because by doing so, it means that they're calling what's happening in Israel a genocide, or in Gaza a genocide, might hold more weight than he's willing to be charitable towards. But you have to own up to your arguments regardless of how it affects your argument. You got to take the good and the bad of your argument if you're going to have it. If you try to do this weaselly shit where you get away from your side, isn't that the heart of Europe? Don't forget, little Kim, Russia's even flying drones over Belgium. What?
No concern for you.
Well, there's a huge difference between a legitimate state conducting actions in its own interests that do not coincide with international law and a stateless terrorist organization attacking civilians for the purpose of...
Why does it matter? Why is there a difference whatsoever for you if you don't care about international law? You don't even give a fuck about other countries. You've already stated that. Like, so what does it matter if they're a terrorist or an official country? What is the difference between the two? You don't use international law to determine that. I mean, that's kind of one of my that's one of my arguments. I thought Trump fixed that.
Instilling fear in that civilian population.
You don't think Trump is trying to instill fear in Venezuelans when they brag about targeting and blowing up ships? And
no, I think there is a strategic and legitimate purpose in blowing up boats that are trafficking drugs, and I assume if I'm wrong, so be it.
Sure.
Let it be. Let there
I'm just
be
curious.
proof,
Has Trump ever taken any military or federal action that you think was overstepping his boundaries as president or commander in chief?
If he actually invades Venezuela, yes, I don't think there's a purpose for that.
But anything else? Has he done anything where you're like, that was probably too far? Not like bad messaging, but like that action was wrong. He shouldn't have done that.
That's an easy yes, bro.
Honestly, no.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think that like I said with the National Guard issue, he hasn't done a lot there, and he's saying he's done a lot, and he hasn't really. It's a matter of perception.
So he's lying. Shouldn't that be bad?
Like I said, he has the
Would
right
you support
to use
like strategic bombing of Venezuela?
I don't see the purpose in that.
You say you don't see the purpose, but if he would say, I bombed the drug dealers in Venezuela, you say, oh, well, I support that.
I support taking out drug boats that are on their way to the United States to
What if he starts
traffic
blowing them up
cocaine
in
and
ports?
fentanyl. What?
What if he starts blowing them up in ports? Like if they're parked in a Venezuelan port and he blows it up?
That would be problematic. If they're in open waters, that's fine. If they're in Venezuelan territory, Colombian territory, that's a different story.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll see what happens, yeah.
I got to go to class, but
Yeah.
thank you for the conversation.
Thanks a lot, yeah.
All right. And then there was another one in here. I don't care about religion and politics. That one, no. I don't give a fuck about the genocide. Conservative. Are Democrats losing the... Okay, let's just do... Progressives versus center-left Democrats. Come on, man. You got this. Was it 132? All right, let's do it this way then, bitch. You want to fucking play this game?
He's still in it. Just kidding, not with that. But no, the East Room needs to go. It's ridiculous.
You can't promote violence.
I'm not.
Even in a joking way.
You'd be watching
It's
it
terrible.
from afar. That's what I mean.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I understand your point of view, and I get that. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have fun.
Hello.
Hi, what's up? What's your name?
My name's Tim.
Tim?
This is sadly going to be a bit of like a more like vibes sort of debate, just because
Sure,
like,
vibe.
it's
Let's
gonna
go
be
ahead.
Less concrete.
Okay.
But I haven't been watching your stuff recently, but I'm gonna make an assumption that like you're not really big on the whole like recent like progressive wing that some of the like new candidates are taking. Like I'm talking about Zoran right now. Like.
Feels like Russian submarines are quite common in Swedish waters.
Okay.
I know you're.
I will openly say this. If they go full send super progressive and start running crazy socialist or communist, I'm leaving the left again. I'm not doing it. I'm not participating in a party that's going to eventually commit suicide on some crazy altar. I'm not going to back fucking losers.
You're not like fully on board with like all the leftist things, but it just kind of, and like there is like obviously the caveat to like New York is a pretty like liberal city. It already has like that kind of progressive slant with like the Bushwick sort of vibes and like the ranked voting. But there's no denying the fact that, I mean, I think he's like leading in the polls by like 80% right now or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like at some point you're going to shift to sort of like, you're going to jump on board with that more like progressive wing of the party, especially as like you watch Democratic senators and Democratic representatives just do nothing in the middle of all this?
Well, I mean, I would say one of our strongest fighters right now is Gavin Newsom, who's a strong center-left
Yeah.
guy. In Virginia, oh, wow, not a Newsom fan? I see,
I'm
okay.
sorry, man.
I'm not even going to get the, wait, hold on. Fuck, what's the last name of the, she's like 13 points up right now for your governor race in Virginia.
Oh,
Spam.
I'm sorry, I can't stand Spamberger.
Oh, because she's moderate?
Yeah, so this guy is just a far left guy. Okay.
Yeah, no, but like I was talking to the Democratic like stands over there.
Okay.
And their pitch for her was that she was the most bipartisan candidate, which kind of like.
Yes, we need bipartisanship to pass bills, and this is why socialism and communists will never work. These people are fucking insane. They think that they can just resist nonstop. No, you have to talk across the aisle. You have to work towards issues. You can't just come in here and say everything you're doing bad. And like, these are the people that when they get in power, they're going to do the same thing Trump is, but in reverse. Because they don't give a fuck about actually working with people. They want to thwart their control. No different. My fear is these people are going to gain a lot of traction in the next 3 years because Trump is so fucking insane. And then we're going to have an insane, rabid, left-lean fucking thing come into power. Like, holy fuck, man.
It feels like it's like a spit into the face of like Democratic voters. Like you're watching.
Was that really the pitch?
Yes.
Well, they should get a better.
The pitch is to work across the aisle so that we can pass bipartisan legislation, such as health care, because 70 or 80% of Americans agree on that. Doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat. They want health care. We don't need to go down the entire fucking rent control fucking means to the people, like seize all the entities and the businesses by the corporations. The government, no, we could just work on health care. Let's fix one issue first.
Better pitch for it.
That most of Americans want.
Okay. But I mean, the pitch on the Republican side is we're going to talk about trans people for 10 hours a day until you can't sleep without thinking about them.
But well, that's what's frustrating me is it feels like right now Democrats are so lost. Like
they're lost for a variety of reasons. Zoran is probably significantly to the left of me in a lot, but like I'll support whoever the Democratic candidate is. I think you ran.
See, I disagree with that. I don't support whoever the Democratic nominee is. They have to have good policy. They have to have good argumentation. They have to be the right candidate. I'm not going to get behind someone just because of the color of the party they represent. I get behind good ideas. No, this is so fucking stupid. Destiny is wrong. You don't support someone that you disagree with because they're on the side you like. You aren't thinking rationally at that point.
Ran a really
so
good race.
You're not like
I'm not going to become more progressive, but fuck Cuomo, okay? And fuck Eric Adams, right? Yeah. I mean, the Democrats choose to run him in New York City. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, I mean, if you lose that race, it's huge. Zoran ran a really good race. He did. And I mean, like, I disagree with a lot of his policies. So one of two things, like the
right. Well, see, this is the problem that people that are this far left fall into. You have to meet people where they are. One of the biggest issues is, so a lot of people don't realize this because right now the trans issue is so blown up in such a negative way. But when the trans issues first propped up, a majority of Americans are liberal. A majority of conservative are libertarian. We don't care. We don't care what you do with your own body. So when the trans issue first propped up, no one cared. They were letting people transition. We were moving in that direction. We were passing more and more legislation allowing these things. Gay prides were all the rage. But, for like years. And then over time, they kept pushing. And then the social war started. The culture war started on the ground level where a lot of people aren't paying attention to it. It started on TikTok and YouTube where people would then make videos condemning, trans people come out and make all these terrible videos about straight cis people. And then the Republican people would make counter videos. And then eventually, you could never, there was too many, what's the word I'm looking for? There was too much there's a form of what you do. There was too much purity testing on the left. In order to be a trans ally, you had to defend every trans point. And then slowly, we started stripping away from the amount of people that were willing to defend trans stuff. And then eventually we got to the point where trans sports, people didn't want to do it. And then now we're about to lose gay rights. No, actually, didn't they vote to keep gay rights? Yeah. Okay. Like, it's crazy. The trans issue was hijacked. You're into some arguments about safe spaces. They can't help themselves. It's crazy how sound bites. Republicans are always caring about. But see, even initially, they didn't care about the issue. It took a bunch of time for the issues to continue to exacerbate and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like in 2014, no one gave a fuck about trans issues. People would talk about it and people were like, cool, whatever. But then we saw them go after like Dave Chappelle, cancel culture, and just all of it. And then again, like the same thing about feminism and like telling men they can't talk about issues. If you keep alienate the people that you want, that you need to vote for you, they're going to stop voting for you. And then you're going to lose those voters. You always have to be working across the aisle. You know how many trans friends I have that like when Trump got elected, they're like, I will not back down. I will not surrender. I'll kill anybody. And I'm like, you know, that's going to make you look crazy, right? And you know that means the people that aren't so crazy about your particular issue are going to think you're unhinged, right? And that means they're going to vote against your rights, right? They're like, fuck them, they're fascist. I'm like, no, they're American. This is a democracy. They vote. You have to be cognitive of what you're putting into the world. You can't be some femboy trans shooter and load up your fucking Twitter with like 400 rifles and full army gear. You can't do that. It's feeding the narrative that all the shooters are trans. Stop. Stop actively working against yourselves. Stop it. It's not hard. Don't be unhinged. Stop. Stop going after every cis guy. Stop coming out with new slurs that insult people that masturbate to your porn. Stop. Stop being openly racist and homophobic to people. Stop hating people. Stop. It's not that hard. You need people. People vote. It's a democracy. We're in a whole group together. Stop. Work with people. And things get done. It's crazy. Stop coming up with new terms to insult people. Like the amount of women that have turned on trans people is insane because they got tired of being called a cis woman and that trans women were only women. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Stop. Stop. When you transition, you become a woman. We're women together. There's no separation between us. Women. Stop separating them. Stop. You're losing voters. You're losing help. And you can't say this, well, you're just another MAGA guy. It's like, I've literally voted for all of your rights for the last 30 fucking years. What are you, well, not like 20 years. What are you talking about? I've marched in your parades. I've defended you. And if you think I'm not an ally, you have none. And you will receive nothing. Jesus Christ.
Like the fucking city-backed grocery store things, or the I'm usually against most forms like rent control shit. His plan to fund the busing stuff, I don't know how that's gonna go. But like one of two things will happen: he'll be elected, he'll try his things, and they'll fail, and I'll say like, oh look, well the super progressive stuff doesn't work. We should do more center-left stuff. Or he'll try it and it'll work, and I'll be like, oh fuck, maybe some of the stuff is more viable. Maybe we should push for it in LA or whatever.
If you see like that momentum kind of shifting towards that more like progressive wing, are you willing to like jump ship and be like, you know what? Like, I'm sorry, I saw you during the like election season sort of like era, like when like Kamala was and like Biden were canvassing, like it's just embarrassing to support these like middle of the road Democrats.
How? This guy's a fucking moron. He understands that if we go into New York with Zohan, right, and he does poorly, we will never have socialism again in this country. Ever. You understand that, like, right now, this is the moment. And if this fails, America is going to be way more capitalist for the rest of our time. Like, this is the moment where people need to get out there and really support this shit. And New Yorkers, if they really believe in this shit, need to start lifting this shit up and working through whatever hardships could come from this. If this fails, we will never have a socialist in this country again. Or if so, it'll be years down the road. Took 200 plus years to get this one.
candidates. It's just really
I mean, you
hard
say that because they lost like
with
the
it.
meme war, but I would say it's more embarrassing to support, you know, fucking Donald Trump, who is like an abomination of a fucking human being, who is one of the most like
True.
morally disgusting. This is a guy who's
So, for example, and for transparency, I would vote for Zohan over Trump
like fucking balls deep in Stormy Daniels.
because he might just be a social democrat, which I'm cool with, or a democratic socialist.
While his wife is with her like 2-month-old son at home,
Yeah.
and he's like getting campaign funds to pay this off, and somehow we're supposed to care about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, or Donald Trump is flying around the world with Witkoff and his crypto scams, but we're supposed to care
True.
about Hunter Biden and Burisma, or you've got Kash Patel who is firing senior FBI agents just because they worked on investigations that Trump didn't like, but I'm supposed to care or believe that Hillary sold like uranium to Russia. Like, I understand there's like this meme war stuff, but like Biden did an infinitely better job in governing than
I
Trump
agree.
did. Yeah,
I agree. It's just
Trump will. That was too edgy. I think Trump has more health problems than Biden. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden lasted longer. I'm praying for both of them to live to the age 100 because I love all people.
like his cancer's like cured now, right? Like something.
Who, Biden's?
Yeah.
Maybe Biden should cure cancer on his own. He's got a magical body. He drives big cars. He eats good ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, Biden's my
He's
king.
living the life, dude.
I agree that there's like this cringe around like supporting center-left Democrats, but I would argue a lot of that is the fault of like the center-left kind of like establishment media types. Like somehow like conservatives control all the media. Like on the left, like these.
Pete Buttigieg, awesome. Gavin Newsom, awesome. Bernie Sanders and AOC, a little too far left from me, still awesome. Like, our hair dryers. Look, we can't have women getting stuck in dryers, okay? I've seen Pornhub. That's just not okay, dude.
People, and a lot of the people on the far left don't even care about politics. Like, how embarrassing is it when we've had like all these crazy progressive, you know, MLs, tankies, commies, whatever, for like 12 years, and where are their politicians? They have nobody. They've elected nobody. Their movement has gone fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, you know, on the center right, these guys are, you know, saying elections are rigged all over the place, and they're still voting and winning elections on their own, and even the popular vote. And you know, on the left, you've got the messaging is so bad in the Democratic Party. Like, what are we gonna, you know, what are they gonna do? It's like, motherfuckers, in a way, you are the messaging. Fox News doesn't say Trump's messaging is bad.
Yeah.
They do his messaging for him. They bring him on.
True. I wouldn't mind the farther left if they were just honest. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind the Hassan Pikers, the Crystal Balls, the Sam Cedars, if they were just honest. If they were just like, hey man, look, we think liberalism is wrong, and we think the direction moving forward is to be progressive or socialist or, you know, communist. If they would just say that, I would have more respect for their movement. Because then at least I don't feel like they're lying to me and trying to infiltrate my party. Like, at the end of the day, a fascist asshole MAGA is going to come up to me and say, I want to take away your rights because I don't think you should have them. And I go, okay, well, I know I hate you, but at least you're honest about it. You know what I mean? Bad porn joke. Don't forget about the couch or just a random gaping drawer. The issue is huge. Here, done, gone tomorrow. But like with a lot of these leftists, they pretend to be liberals. They force themselves into these circles. They come in, they'll tell you like social democrat views that we all agree with. We all want better medical practices. The fact that I am 400 pounds and I'm on the verge of death constantly because of how poorly I took care of my body, and the fact that I couldn't go to a doctor to do any of these things because if I did, I'd have $20,000 in debt, is fucking insane. And yeah, you could say, well, maybe Will shouldn't have done those terrible things in his youth. Yeah, you'll be 100% right. But that's not the way that we operate in our society. I was a dumb kid. I was a truck driver. I didn't take care of myself. I made a lot of dumb decisions that negatively impacted my future. And we have medical advances that allow me to fix these things, but I can't do anything about it. So I just get to die. That's not right. Americans will jump behind medical issues. Like we're tired of having to use, not buy me a coffee. What's that one where you can go, there's a fucking thing that you can do. I can't remember what it's, a GoFundMe. People typically use GoFundMe for medical issues, dude. That shouldn't happen. We shouldn't have to use GoFundMe to like get through our broken medical system because we don't have anything. That's in a first world country that touts itself as the greatest country in the world. We have the fattest fucking people who are dying, and we're like, nah, dude, it's cool. It's cool. Fuck them. No.
On Fox News, and they talk to him, and it's just it's like that. Obama is okay. He was cool. Okay, Kamala, she was fine. Kamala was fine. Okay, Biden was cool. All right. Listen,
but like when it comes to like, let's say like 2028, those primaries are coming on. Are you going like AOC like are you joining with that, or are you I'm not
going to change my political
Pete
beliefs.
Buttigieg or what do you think is like going to be the most like narratively viable
Newsom
option? Like I feel like it is just gonna.
Well, it might be the one with the biggest fucking paramilitary by 2028. We might be in
full
war by who knows? Right. It's impossible to predict. Like there's a world where your center left Dems, like your Gavin Newsom's, like continue to kind of like grow their. Stop doing that, okay?
I'm sorry,
you.
Like,
oh my god.
Did you ever hear the like?
What?
Like the Panera breads? I could never get over that.
What's
like
the
I remember
Panera
one
bread
time.
thing?
I don't know if it's true, but like there was like that one law he passed where he raised the minimum wage for everybody. But his like buddy who owns Panera Bread, like he is like a legitimately like.
Okay, well, the last time I was at Panera Bread, their soup bowls were like $700, so they obviously don't need to be.
But I'm not like writing.
Also, there's one of those fucking tip things at every single counter now that I go to that start at like 20%. I'm tipping 20% at fucking Starbucks because I'm being guilt tripped at the counter. What the fuck? Okay?
But it's just weird that he's like making law like.
I mean, also, there's so much you can pin on bad decisions, though, when doing the same bad decisions elsewhere in the world won't have the same consequences. Compare soda or energy drinks with the EU. Yeah.
I don't even know. Also, I don't know if that's true. I feel like if I look that up, that's not going to be exactly true.
I heard it once. Like I'm sorry, I'm not like the
from
most...
a conservative.
No, actually,
from Jesse Water. From
no,
who?
it was like a normal left-leaning dude. It just
He heard it from Hassan.
Like we're reading it in class one time. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's crazy.
All right.
But I would love for you to fact check that. I've just heard that before. He's like he seems like, and like the high-speed rail, which like never gets finished ever, and they just keep dumping money into it. Like,
yeah, we have problems. That's where our abundance people come in. Our wonderful, strong, upcoming center. Oh,
yes, let me get my abundance liberals back on the docket. Fuck this goddamn socialist bullshit. Though I will say, I do hope Madani or whatever he is does a very good job, and maybe we can use that to head into the midterms to talk about more affordability issues with everyday Americans. And if we have to get more socialists in order to get medical, looks like we're going to get more socialists.
Oh, you hate them all, don't you?
But even then, it's like I like them, I agree with them, but then it kind of just feels like, hey, we should like be Bill Clinton again, and then just throw trans people under the bus and call it a day. Like that to me doesn't.
We kind of have to do that for a while, yeah. The trans people kind of ruined a lot of the momentum we had with their insane racism and hatred for anyone that wasn't them.
Sound like a very satisfying
saying that trans women and cis women need to be competing at the Olympics together. It's not throwing trans women. Saying that that's a dumb position. It's not throwing trans people under the bus. Okay, I think we can have a good position on trans people that doesn't involve them playing sports in the NCAA together. Okay,
but there is some. It just kind of feels like Democrats are like scared to like stand up for their own beliefs. Like
It's because we stood up for those beliefs and we lost almost everything. We almost had one of the worst blowouts in history. Donald Trump won the popular vote. Republicans don't ever win the popular vote. This was a reformation on the shit that Democrats were pushing for the last 8 years. Or technically, 12 years?
Say what you want, but there is something powerful about like Zoran like being willing to hold up a trans flag in a pride rally. Like,
Didn't Biden literally do this shit? Didn't we have the rainbow-colored fucking White House lawn and all the conservatives got super mad at it? Didn't I just watch, was it Tim Pool or Joe Rogan, who tweeted out the other day, or maybe it was Matt Walsh, was like, Biden had trans tits on the fucking White House lawn. The guy was like losing his fucking mind. I don't know,
But the problem is that it kind of feels like the more like center left Democrats tend to like weaponize the actual progressive part of politics rather than like using I saw like that interview with like Cory Booker. It's
because all of your fucking media people are insane. The fact that Zohan Madani or whatever the fuck his crazy name is had to denounce Hassan because Hassan is a dog shocking fucking Nazi is part of the problem. Hassan has actively said that our military men deserve to have PTSD, that America deserved 9/11, that America does everything wrong. If your worldview is that America wrong at every possible turn, and you can't speak to a single positive and you think that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are the same person, you are not equipped to have a conversation about politics. And he's the biggest political streamer on the planet.
I'm not gonna get too much into Israel-Palestine, but like someone was like arguing with him about Israel-Palestine, and he started like woke scolding the interviewer, saying like, oh, like as a black man, like blah blah blah. Like he's like weaponizing the actual beliefs rather than like legitimately believing them. And it kind of feels like a lot of these center-left people don't stand behind trans people, don't stand behind black people, don't stand.
Because we don't want to stand on identity politics. Because average people do not give a fuck about identity politics. Because the average person isn't living through crazy racism. The average person was raised on not seeing color. So when we make color or identity or sexual orientation the crux of our position, we're playing into identity politics, which is what the war has been about for the past 15 years. We've been moving away from identity politics because it's dangerous.
Stand behind these people, but they just use their sort of that sort of realm of thought.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I guess it can come off that way sometimes. But I mean, when you look at the material fact of like who's doing more to help who, I mean, like Trump, like the Supreme Court just issued a ruling a while ago saying that you can racially profile depending on the job they have in California. That's crazy. Like, that's not Biden fighting for that. Like, it was the conservatives that fought against affirmative action. It was the conservatives that have now eliminated fucking every form of anything that has the letters DEI in it from across the entire country. Like, I think materially it's pretty clear, you know, where one side stands over the other. I do agree that I describe this as like the soy phenomenon, where Democrats just need to get better at like messaging their topics without sounding like fucking soy as fuck about it.
I feel like that's one of the reasons why Vibe Reacts removed me. Either I was talking shit about Eminem, because I think Eminem is a hack fuck has-been, or I was talking a lot of shit about Trump, because I know he's a pretty big Trump dick suck. It's crazy how the biggest reactor to Ren and has done the most stuff for Ren gargles the biggest dick for Trump. It's crazy.
like it sounds.
You're just wrong about Eminem. I'll just watch William. And it's crazy too, because I get accused of being a Trump dick suck by like the far left, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. I have plenty of videos criticizing Trump on my YouTube channel. My Republican friends are very scared around me because I've talked openly after Trump won. Uncle Ray is a Trump supporter. I'm conflicted. What was it? A lot of my friends are Republican, and they hear me talk a lot of fucked up shit about Republicans. And when I'm gaming and I'm not sitting here like thinking my way through a thing, and I'm just sitting there while I'm about to get ganked, I'm like, fuck these. Bro, I say some unhinged shit to Republicans. Almost all of my friends are Republicans. Josh, Republican. Steve, Republican. Peter, Republican. Eric, Republican. Fry, Republican. They're all Republican. All of them. I don't know any progressives anymore because they usually kick me out of their life because I'm not crazy like they are. Matter of fact, every progressive friend I've had has removed me. The only people who can stomach me are Republicans, and I'm still against them. It's crazy. You can't say he sucks when you haven't listened to his best albums. I'm not okay with that. Uncle Ray is a Trump. So is Keto, and so is he. Yeah, Keto loves Eminem. Yeah.
Made it sound cringe, like conservatives and talk about diversity is our greatest strength, but like to a large extent, I really.
So I would actually, a majority of Ren's music listeners are Republican. Actually, now that I think about it, Ren is Republican. Or else, why would his biggest channel with the most subscribers not like? That's an indictment on Ren. Uncle Ray is a hardcore Trump guy. Like, he was bragging about all the military strikes, saying that's my president. Like, damn, dude.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, we have some of the craziest diverse populations in the world. We are the best fucking country on the planet. We are successful in a lot of different ways. And a lot of that can be traced back to how many different types of people are here and how many different...
Ren is not? No. I doubt Ren is actually Republican, but that is an indictment on the biggest channel. Ray isn't the biggest Ren guy by numbers. Who is that bigger React channel than he is? That does primarily Ren?
He
He's done like almost every Ren song, 250 videos. All the other bigger React channels might do the occasional Ren song, but they're not renegades. Yeah. Uncle, he is a straight up renegade. Like, he calls himself a renegade. Kia needs a mic. I agree.
Knox Hill, Stevie Knight.
Oh yeah,
Not
not.
Pegasus.
Yeah, they're all Republican. Almost all of them are Republican. Yeah. Well, Knox Hill's probably not Republican. No. Though his fentanyl song kind of sounded Republican.
Different types of people are working together and everything, and yeah, Democrats need to own it better and not like be so apologetic and soy and woke scoldy about it, and just be open. Yeah, I would say, yeah.
All right. I was wondering if like you're like just like principally opposed to like ever like.
I'm not going to change my politics, but like
no, but like you know.
I'll
what I mean.
back like a candidate.
Okay.
Like Zoran and AOC are I don't know about AOC anyway, but probably both of them are significant to the left of me.
Okay.
But like I would take any of these people over probably any Republican, definitely over Trump, and I'll generally always support the candidate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ew. I don't know if Knox is Republican. I don't watch enough Knox. I got through like 3 of his reacts. Like, yeah, I watched 3 reacts from him way back in the day, and I didn't like his stuff, so I did not watch him. I was a Joey Nato. I was a Third Ernest, the charismatic voice. Those are the ones I watched. Oh, Knox is a both. Okay, so Knox is a Republican then. Okay.
No, he's not.
If he's a both sides guy, he's a
I
Republican.
don't know about that. He makes fun of people.
Yeah, but that's what Republicans do. All those people voted Republican this year. I bet you.
He lives in England.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter. That's what all of the center people that used to be the both sides guy voted red this election cycle. So yeah, okay, Knox is okay.
My last question is basically like, okay, let's say best case scenario, like whoever you Newsom, your Buttigieg, whatever, like they sweep the White House, sweep the Senate, sweep the House. What do you do after this? Like the norms have already been broken.
Yeah, I think you have to do what you can to hold all the prior Republicans accountable to the maximal extent possible. This idea of like we need to forgive and move on.
What does that mean? I'm sorry. What does that mean?
It means whatever is chargeable.
Yeah, like the most strictest level of crimes we can charge for the actions they took that we can verify in court need to be done.
For anybody, bring back all the Trump lawsuits, the Mar-a-Lago stuff, the Jan 6 stuff, and then indict as many people that have been involved in as many like illegal schemes as possible. I would argue, I don't know, there's a stupid Latin term for this, like you can't criminalize past behavior, but it feels like anything involved with like the fucking Trump coin and the Melania coin, this is just insane to me.
Yeah.
Every single Hatch Act violation, every single one of those motherfuckers should be prosecuted using the military to support your, all of that, whatever.
I like that Ren has wide political audience. Like a girl has some hope. He can help some people come to their senses. Doesn't matter how minimal those chances are. A girl has to hope. Chris Webby is into so the problem is, I do know that Chris Webby is criticizing MAGA rap. I know I've heard him do that in that one song we did do. I know he did that, but the fact that he's a conspiracy theorist means he will be Republican soon. We don't typically have conspiracy theorists on the left anymore. And those that go down the conspiracy rabbit hole become hardcore MAGA dick sucks.
Whatever they can charge, that needs to be like down.
Because in order to believe in conspiracies, you have to have a broken brain, because only the most stupid people believe in conspiracies.
The fucking line. That would be a start. But yeah, we can't like walk away from this and just say like, oh, you know, everything's going to be normal in the future, because Republicans will act the same way if they have the opportunity to. So yeah.
I have one.
Huh?
I guess I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
I think aliens could come. Does that
That's
mean
not a conspiracy theorist.
There's life on other planets. Conspiracy.
That's not a conspiracy. That's a reality.
It's not reality.
If our life is real, there has to be life somewhere else. We can't be the only unique divine creation in the world. If we exist, other things exist. It's an infinite possibilities out there. Conspiracy theorists that believe like the moon landing was fake, that COVID is putting chips in your brain, that the earth is flat. Like, Jesus Christ, a dick suck. He has weight on the issue. he champions the most, but Webby also a foil head. The live Ren and Webby was involved a lot of rolling up my eye. Exactly.
Last point.
Okay, you said one last point like 3 times, so go. What is it? Final. Yeah, version
Sometimes
4.4,
I'll watch
final,
your
final.
streams and you have like your orbiters. Dude, when you say
aliens are already among us, how else can you explain Musk?
stay safe, that's such a like I feel like it's so weird. I don't know why. It's just it feels like you're like threatening your orbiters every time I hear that. You're like, oh, like whatever you're talking about, like Medicare or whatever. And you're like,
maybe
hey,
I am threatening them.
stay safe, man. Like it's every time I hear that, I think you're like.
You're just a paranoid. How old are you?
18.
Jesus. See, you're a paranoid college kid. Okay. When you become an adult, you appreciate the stay safe and I love yous, okay?
People will keep up. What was it? My little girl, my little goth girl inside my chest refuses to believe in the lizard people.
So.
Because then I have to be one. There's no way this face is natural, okay? This is a mask. Okay? This face, there's a lizard in here. Because if lizard people are real, why do you think I'm so big? I'm holding like 4 lizards in here, dude. Republican? Hell yeah, dude. All my friends are Republican. You thought I was Republican. You look.
He's got tendencies.
I'm gonna just put on my girlfriend on blast right now.
No,
My girlfriend, when I first got here, said you need to take the political test. She wanted to see where I was on the political spectrum because after a few conversations, she was like, I think you're like a Republican. And I'm like, okay, I'm not. She made me take the test, the political spectrum test. And guess what? Not Republican. Matter of fact, I was further left on some issues than she was. Republican adjacent. I saw a view, everything was exposed. I grew up with George Carlin, dude. He has a split personality. Oh my God. She's crazy making me now. You guys seeing this?
This is
Have fun.
just weird. It's like say
It's not
goodbye
weird.
or like love
Yeah.
you, bud. Like I don't know.
Thanks for coming.
Have some more love in your eyes, man.
I have so much love.
All right.
Stay
have a good
safe,
one,
man, okay? Especially you.
All right, dude. I'm done with this video. I feel like I got to the 2 points I wanted to talk about. All right.
I used to wake up like the world was mine. Now it's just morning again. Used to talk like dreams could bend the sky. Now I just grow till it ends.